My YouTube live's looking all different, bro. Looking different, bro. Hmm. Very interesting. Live chat. Let's see. Create a poll. Okay. My fault. I'm currently smoking somebody in iMessage games. So I keep pausing because every time I get the notification, I keep going back to get another dub. You feel me? That's what I do. Nobody can beat me in iMessage games. I mean, nobody can beat me in anything, to be honest, but iMessage games, it's too easy. It's too easy. All I do is get dubs. W's. No George Bush. Whew. Alright, let me make a poll. Alright, got the poll going. Pause. No diddy. Alright, give me one side. Alright, that's enough. That's enough. I don't want enough games, alright? No. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's the third one. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Whew. What's poppin', yo? I don't think there's nobody in the chat yet. See, I keep wanting to go and play iMessage games, but I don't want someone to pop up and be like, he's not even doing a live. But it's not really lit up in here, so I think I'm gonna finish my game. All right, y'all, I'm committed. I'm committed. No more iMessage games. I'm not gonna promise, but just trust me. Just trust me. Nights I couldn't sleep. Let the sun beat you on. Nobody gets down all night. Oh no, accident hooked the TV back up. Oh no. Axel. Wait a second, y'all. I need TV. What? Oh, the TV. What?
That was an emergency.
I would have screamed with my real voice if it was an emergency.
Ay, bueno, yo voy a felicitar a la ganadora estrella de hoy también.
Thanks.
Felicidades. ¿Cómo te sientes? Yo venía a participar y dije, voy a dar lo mejor, lo que yo pueda hacer. Si gano bien y si no cambio, tranquila. Oh, por favor, si tenías la racha de un buen equipo también. Totalmente. Les tengo justamente en nuestras estrategias y dejar de
What do I want to watch tonight?
que alguien no lo puede hacer. No, va tal persona. Yo creo que ya pasó la etapa. Ya pasó la etapa.
Conocimiento, la etapa de exploración.
Ya es hora de madurar.
Rico.
Y a prueba de beneficios sacará uno de los nominados de la placa.
Ah, they already changed La Casa de los Famosos. Don't want to watch that.
Muchas gracias, cosita. Gracias por todo, por consentirme, por cuidarme, por ser, mejor dicho, el día más lindo, el mejor compañero de viaje, mejor dicho, por hacerme la mujer más feliz del mundo. Muchas gracias. Amigo.
Till people show up, I'm gonna cut my nails. Yeah, one time when I was a little kid, I think I told y'all the story. I was cutting my nails and I was looking down and I clipped it and it went into my eye, bro.
Lo que pasa es que tuve una llamada con Colombia
Edwin, what's up, bro? How you doing?
y aquí, por tan dura. Hablé con Adriana y me dijo que está en embarazo.
¿Por qué tan solo? ¿Qué quieres decir? ¿Porque no hay nadie en el chat?
Yo sé que usted a mí no me va a creer ni chimba, pero déjeme explicarle cómo fueron las cosas.
Usted va a ser papá. Adriana y usted van a tener un hijo. Yo no soy estúpida, digo, no necesito saber cómo vienen los niños al mundo.
Sí, pero déjeme explicarle cómo fueron
No,
las
no
cosas.
quiero que me explique nada. Perdí la cuenta de las veces que usted me dijo que Adriana era su amiga, que no pasaba nada. Que los celos que yo tenía no tenían nada que ver. Que confiara en usted. Mire, pero la amiguita lo dejó solo, qué milagro.
Es que le estaba haciendo un mando a doña Cintia en el pueblo.
Y ya le presta la voz y todo, ¿eh?
¿Qué seguiría el suyo con lo mismo?
Nobody showed up yet.
Es que yo no vine con Adriana.
Yeah, it's early. I just started like 8 minutes ago.
Yo no me doy cuenta que todos van a mentir.
Usually people don't show up until like 15, 20, sometimes 30 minutes. That's why I watch TV.
Es que yo no tengo que tomar esa decisión, Rico. Porque ahora tiene algo. Alguien muchísimo más importante, porque por encima de un hijo no hay nada. Y usted lo va a tener con Adriana.
How was your day, bro? What did you do?
Va a tener la familia que siempre quiso. Y yo ahí no me voy a meter.
Pero bueno, calmémonos y simplemente yo le explico cómo fueron las cosas y ya.
No quiero que me explique nada, Rico, no quiero.
Pero es que si no me escucha
Y
también.
no quiero que me explique nada, Rico, váyase. Váyase.
Déjeme explicarle.
Y no quiero que me explique nada.
Watch TV and cut my nails. Yep, exactly.
Por favor, váyase.
My nails grow really fast, bro. Like super fast every week.
Váyase.
Your day was good? My day was good. I had physical therapy. And that's pretty much it. That fast as the beard. Yeah. Too fast. So I gotta stay on top of it. I gotta keep cutting it. Or else start looking like I don't take care of myself. I need to re-dye my beard. It's almost finished. It's almost black again. How was the therapy? It was good. It's just really tough, man. It's just pushing the limits. I gotta get my range of motion back, so it's a lot of bending, a lot of screaming, a lot of pain. Mm. Ouch. Yeah, bro. It's tough. But it's just that, like, basically, they, um, they reattach the tendon to the bone, and then you keep your legs straight for so long that the function isn't good anymore. It gets really stiff, and so have to work to get it back. And then over time, it'll slowly loosen until it's normal again. Do you paint it? Yes, I dyed my beard. Usually like once every like 3 months maybe. I think the last time I dyed it was in January, so. Well, your beard itches when it grows out? So you shave all the time, then you keep your face super clean, super smooth? Mm. But that's because you have to let it grow longer, bro. That happens to me too. Like when I was in the army, I had to shave all the time because in the army you're not allowed to have a beard. And so whenever I would go on vacation or when I got out of the army, when you first grow it, like a week or two, it's super itchy because it's like breaking through the skin. But once it gets this long, it doesn't itch anymore. How old are you again, Edwin? You're 30 and you've never grown a beard, bro? That's crazy. You gotta grow a beard, man. But you know what? Beards are not really a Colombian thing. I don't see a lot of Colombians with beards. There's some. But I feel like it's more Colombian to have a smooth face or just a mustache or something. Yeah, it's definitely not common here. That's the funny thing about culture. You could go to one place and something could be very common. Like in the United States, everyone has a beard. Like almost everybody. Yeah, it used to be like that in the United States. Like my dad would always tell me, "Oh, don't grow a beard because you won't get a job or you'll look unprofessional." And it was the same with tattoos. But yeah, I just feel so loud. Uh, but now the world has changed. The culture in America has changed. So most people have beards and most people have tattoos. So it's not that weird. Um, you know, it's funny though. You know that haircut that a lot of Colombians have, like El Siete, where it's like this is bald and they got the that shit would be that would be unprofessional in the United States. You couldn't have a hairstyle like that. That's what's so funny about culture. In one place, something could be somewhat common. Somewhere else, it could be like, ah, no, you can't do that. Yeah. But you know, that's the good thing about traveling and just learning about different cultures. You just get to see all different things, all different kinds of things, and rules and styles and things that people like and things people don't like. You don't like that? You don't like those haircuts? I like them. I like the way they look. It's just in the United States, if you did that, people would just be like, especially if you were an adult, people would just be like, does this guy think he's 12 years old? Like, after like middle school, 12, 13 years old, anybody with that kind of haircut, it's like, only athletes can do that. But in a professional environment, definitely not. Let me change the channel. It's gonna give me a copyright strike. Hey, when have you ever been to the United States before? You never been anywhere? Europe? Well, do you ever want to go to America? There's some cool stuff about America. There's some bad stuff too, but there's definitely some cool places to visit for sure. Where do you want to visit, bro? travel as many places as possible. That's cool. I I traveled a lot when I was a little kid, so I don't really care about traveling that much. I mainly like to go to places if I have like a friend there, or if there's like somewhere special that I want to see for some reason. Like my friend lives here, so that's why I came here. But everyone's always like, "Oh, you never been to Medellin, Cartagena?" And I'm like, those places look kind of cool, but I don't know anybody there, so it doesn't really make me want to go there. You want to go to Brazil? Is that why you know Portuguese? You came because of friendship? Yes, partially. My friend that lives here, he's the one that taught me Spanish. So when I was in the United States, he taught me how to speak Spanish on Skype, and I was like, ah, bro, like one day I'm gonna come visit you, and I just moved here. But yeah, no, I didn't come because of work. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any work in Cali for me. I make my money online doing personal training. So, but no, I didn't come for work. But if he would have lived somewhere else, then I would have probably went there. If he lived in Medellin, Manizales, or something like that. Oh, yeah, I do teach English, but I teach English online, and I only do that because of somebody else from you know the lady Giselle that comes in the chat. She would talk to me on here, and she would say, "Oh, why don't you help teach English?" And I said, "Okay, yeah, message me and give me the information." But I didn't teach English before I came here though. But I like to teach English. It's fun. Sometimes it's really difficult um, because some things are hard to explain with just words. Sometimes you need to you need context, you need examples, but like in real life. So it's tough, but it's fun. I like it. I like seeing them make progress. They start here and then they're over here. One day they can't have good conversations, and then one day they're holding a conversation, and you're like, wow, they got a lot better. So I like that. I like teaching. Not even just English. I like teaching whatever. So it's what I like to do. Can't find something good to watch. Edwin, do you listen to music in English? What kind of songs do you listen to, bro? And do you always understand what you're listening to, or sometimes do you just think like, what are they saying?
Bueno, María, tú eres la demandante de este caso. Y estás demandando a la mujer por su mamá, ¿verdad? Bueno, pues explícame por qué lo demandas y qué pides para resolver.
All kinds. What's your favorite song? Is there a song that you know by heart? You know all the lyrics to? Like if you had to sing it, you could just be like, oh, I can sing it without even looking at the lyrics.
Ok. Y entonces, ¿qué tú quieres? Y la custodia de los niños. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevan casados ustedes?
Llevamos 10 años,
10 años casados. ¿Y qué?
felizmente casados.
Y felizmente casados. Ok, ¿y qué edades tienen los niños? ¿Qué edades tienen los niños?
Sometimes I find lyrics difficult to understand.
Ok.
That makes
Bueno,
sense.
ahora explícame cómo
What
está poniendo a los niños.
is there a song that you like and you're like, I don't know what this stuff means? Maybe I can help you understand it.
Torero, es torero. Nos casamos, nos fuimos a mí me gustan los animales, yo no sabía que era un torero. Como al tiempo, al año, 2 años, yo me fui enamorando de él, nos casamos. Después de que nos casamos, a los 2 años salió embarazada. Él, como yo soy incapacitada, tengo problemas en el hueso, él vino y me dejó eso por cuidarme a mí, por ayudarme con mis hijos, pero
Dejó lo del torero.
sí, dejó lo del toreo, su trabajo, su pasión, todo lo dejó.
Ajá.
Y ahora ya, hace 2 semanas, me
I don't have a fade, but how deep is your love? For Beaches came to mind.
y yo fui al doctor, lo llevé al doctor, y todo estaba bien.
I don't know if that's the same song I'm thinking of.
Una
No, that can't be the same song.
cicatriz que era casi quemada.
The one I'm thinking of is, it has to be recent. I'm thinking of the beat in my head, and I'm like, that can't be an old song.
Cuando yo me fui,
How deep is your love? How deep is your love? But that's recent. So yours must be a different one.
ya había sufrido con él tanto los
Hot in here.
este,
That's a good song.
pero
That one is.
esta vez
That one makes sense. That it's hard for you to get. I don't know if you were in here that one time, but I was talking about how, depending on what accent you learn, another accent could be difficult for you. So I'm from the South of the United States, and a lot of us in the South, instead of saying, like, as you can tell, you spelled it hot in here, right? But I don't say here like that. And a lot of people in the South don't. Like Nelly, other people from the deep South, we say her, there, where. So that definitely makes it more difficult to understand, for sure.
mira ese toro, si llega a soltar el toro,
Era ese toro, sí.
me iba a pegar en la cabeza, lo iba a matar.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I wanna take my clothes off.
Entonces, si llegan a escribir a mis hijos, yo los quiero. Yo no puedo.
I've been watching videos about accents. What did you watch? What did they tell you? I wasn't aware that New Yorkers drop the R's. Drop the R's in what? Let me think.
Durante el tiempo que ustedes que están casados y él
So here's the other thing too. There's different parts in New York where they're gonna talk differently, because Long Island people talk way different. And I'm trying to think of what you mean by drop the R's. Does that say R's? Yeah, R's. I need an example. Give me a word so I can think of the word and say, oh, okay.
O sea, que tú estás en desacuerdo con los toreros y el mundo de taurino.
Oh, yeah. That's not even just a New York thing. That's a like a New England, that whole northeast region, and it is a British thing. But you have to think of like, if you think of how those migration patterns are, you can hear in American accents where it came from. So, for instance, uh, like that New York type of thing, you can tell that it came from British people. But yeah, yeah, yeah. They do that in like Boston too. They say, ah, you hit my car. They don't say car. They say, you hit my car. Let's go to the bar. But then lots of people from Boston, if you make that joke to them, they get mad. They're like, we don't talk like that. All of us don't talk like that. Some of us actually say ours. I'm like, bro, what do you want me to do? I'm just going off of the stereotypes. But yeah, it is different from person to person. How does it sound in my ears? I don't know, normal. I went to college in New York, so it was a little weird when I got up there, but I adjusted to it.
¿Cuántos días en verdad has llevado los niños?
What do I think of the British accent? Here's the thing, Edwin. It's just like when people say the Colombia accent, right? It's like, but there's like 30 accents though. Like Pisces don't talk like people from Cali. So it's the same with British people. Because you have like the what they call the posh accent, which is like what people think of, and they're like, "Oh, I'd like to bring you some tea today," and stuff like that. But there's so many different accents. If you like look up the Liverpool accent, Liverpool talk like this. Sounds like something's in the back of their throat, and it's just a totally different accent. So people don't think about that accent when they say a British accent, but that's a British accent too. Or like the Birmingham accent, they sound like they're crying. To be honest, like why did you do that to me? Why did you do that? You stole that from me. I'm gonna kill you. If you're from Birmingham, if you're from Brum, I'm not an impersonator. If that was a horrible job, I don't care. Don't get mad at me. Cockney, I don't understand. Yeah, Cockney is definitely weird, especially because they do the whole rhyming slang thing. So they, do you know what Cockney rhyming slang is? That definitely makes them 10 times more hard to understand. If you don't know what Cockney rhyming slang is, that's something that could be interesting for you to look up. I think it'll probably give you a good read. But it was originally something that criminals did. But basically, the real word that you want to say, there's a word that rhymes with that word, and you say that word instead of the real word. Um, and so, yeah, if you don't know the rhyming slang, oh, you didn't understand what I said. Okay, Cockney rhyming slang. Rhyming como rimar. What rhymes with what? That's the thing. Let's just say, and this is not a real example of Cockney rhyming slang, but this is just how it works, right? Let's just say, uh, let me think. Let me think. Let's just say the word games, right? Let's say we want to go watch some games. We'll say James rhymes with games, right? And then there's a guy called James Dean. We could say, let's go watch the James Dean. But they might drop the James and they might say, let's go watch the Dean. If you don't know that James Dean rhymes with games, or if you don't know that James rhymes with games, then you're not going to know what Dean means, right? So that makes them way harder to understand. Hey guys, what's up, bro? Yeah, Cockney rhyming slang. You should read about it. It's very interesting. And then yeah, I think you'll like it. But yeah, overall, I used to live in Europe too, so I don't know. Accents are just whatever to me. No one has a super crazy accent that just. The only people whose accents that really hurt my ears are people from Baltimore. That shit just disgusts me. But outside of that, I can pretty much tolerate all accents. Dialects are fun to look into. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we were just talking about, basically. That's how we got on Cockney rhyming slang. I think uh, I think the only thing that sucks about having the knowledge about that kind of stuff is that most people don't. And if you try to tell them about it, they almost just think that you're just wrong. They just think that you're wrong. Like, actually, there's a bunch of pages I follow um, about like about the etymology of words in Puerto Rico, right? And man, this is a woman that was born and raised in Puerto Rico. That is very smart, and she will say something, and she'll say, "Did you know that this word comes from this word?" And people be in the comments like, "I've never heard that word before. That's not a Puerto Rican word." And it's just like, bitch, just because you haven't heard it before doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that this thing that she's talking about is not real. Or like, I watched a video about lambdacism, and the guy is born and raised in Puerto Rico, and he says, the reason that a lot of us say Puerto Rico, and all these people in the comments are like, I'm from Puerto Rico, and I say Puerto Rico. I say it with an R, and it's just like, that doesn't mean that other people don't say it with an L, bro. Like, so, I don't like talking about certain stuff with people that are not somewhat educated about it, because sometimes they just start acting weird. But I love etymology. It's the only, I would say the downfall of liking etymology is that I have an insatiable curiosity to know where every fucking word comes from, bro. So I'm always just like, I gotta know. Where did that come from? Why did they name it this? Um, and obviously that can slow you down sometimes. But I do it in English too. Sometimes I hear stuff and I'm like, I bet you that came from this. And I just look it up. I just like knowing that stuff, man. There's always a story behind every word that just makes it cooler and more understandable, to be honest. There's a book I'm reading called Word from Hell. What is that about? Oh, Words from Hell. Still, what is that about? One of my earliest memories is looking up the etymology of the word tree and seeing that it came from true. And I was like, bro, that's the dopest shit I ever seen in my life. And that makes sense because trees are 100% there all the time. The motherfuckers don't move. They don't do anything except be there. So you can know if you're ever hallucinating or confused or whatever, like, this tree is always right. I think we talked about the RL shift, like how audible comes from the Latin audible. Yeah, I'm sure we talked about it before. I recently discovered umbrella is linked to sombra or penumbra. Mm-hmm. She's an etymologist and did a bunch of research for a fun book about tons of different types of words, from nice to naughty stuff. I'm gonna check that out then. That sounds interesting for sure. Yeah, I love looking up the etymology of words in both languages, but I think it's even more cool when I see a word in Spanish and I know it because I know like some archaic word in English, and I'm like, oh, I already know what this is, bro, because I know what this is in English. But I mean, that's really all Spanish is. Spanish is like talking in old ass English. So you're saying that Puerto Ricans say Puerto? No, they would never, ever, ever say Lico. Ever, bro. That's not how it works. Ever. It only happens at the end of a syllable, never in the beginning. So if the word ends in R, like hablar would be hablar, or amor, or decir, hacer, and then of course in Puerto, because puer, that some people say Puerto. Now another thing that happens, it still would never be an L, but because of the Portuguese influence, like towards the west of the island, and it's not even just the west of the island. Right now, it's just mainly how you say it in English, like a hillbilly thing. But a lot of them say Puerto Rico because they say their R's like H's, but never Lico. That's the best way to piss off a Puerto Rican, bro. Everyone, I don't know. I don't even know how. I don't know how people think that that's what they say. But people go, "Oh, you guys say Puerto Rico." You're instantly gonna make an enemy out of that friend. Remember how we talked about how they occasionally pronounce the R as J? Spanish J? I'm guessing you're talking about. That's at the beginning of a word, like Rico. I said Rico. There's a boxer. I might have told you this story. There's a boxer, Danny Garcia, and you know when you learn Spanish from your parents or whoever, all you know is what they taught you. So he's what they consider a no sabo kid. He never speaks Spanish. And at one press conference, he decided he was going to bust it out. And he was doing okay for a kid that grew up not speaking much Spanish. But because he's Puerto Rican and because his parents are older, he has that H or a Spanish J when he says words. So he said something to the effect of, soy bien rápido. And everyone in the comments were like, I see why he doesn't speak Spanish now. This motherfucker said rapido instead of rapido. He doesn't know how to speak Spanish. And I was like, damn, that sucks, bro. Like, they don't understand that is how people, that's how a lot of people speak in Puerto Rico. But if you're not from there, of course, that's going to sound crazy. Like, you're just going to think the person's wrong, of course. I know a Puerto Rican who says cajo instead of carro. I know a lot of Puerto Ricans that talk like that, bro. Like a lot. Mi pejo, mi pejo. Yeah, I remember like I would say when I first heard that a long time ago, I would get confused. I specifically remember the first interaction I ever heard that. Like it was an argument, and she was like, "Te voy a gastar," and I was like, "Gastar." I'm like, "What is that?" I was literally like, I was on Google like typing it with a H, typing it with a J. I was just like, "What is this word, bro?" Can you differentiate Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Dominican accents? Yeah, they're super different, but I understand why people that don't know them think they're the same. To be honest, people do the same thing with Colombian accents, bro. You told me you're from somewhere close to where I am, right? There's lots of people that think that like costeños sound like vajunos. Like they're just like, oh yeah, Colombian accent. I'm like, bro, they're not anywhere near the same. But if you don't know the subtle differences, then all you really hear is like the kind of just the tone and some of the slang, and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, Colombian. So I feel like that's what happens with Caribbean people. People just hear they hear an L at the end of a word, and they're like, oh, man. They say L's, they're the same. Like, but Cubans, Cubans talk crazy, bro. Very crazy. They always sound like they can't actually use their jaw, like they just got punched in the mouth or something like that, bro. Out of everybody, I would say they're the most difficult to understand as far as actual speaking goes. Dominicans are harder to understand because of the words that they use, but Cubans, bro, it's like they talk 100 miles per hour and they don't close their mouth. They like don't enunciate. Deep South Argentinians is rough for me. I don't know. I know what Argentinians sound like. I could tell you like characteristics, but I couldn't tell you what Deep South Argentina is or the difference. Like, but that's what I mean. That's a great example right there. If I heard someone speak, I'll say, "Yep, that dude's Argentinian." Like, I could tell you for sure when I hear that. Sure, sha, sure, sure, sha, 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 sta. They sound like they can't use their jaw. That's from always having a cigar in their mouth. Yeah, that shit is crazy, bro. Every time I talk to Cubans, I'm just like, but you know what? My friend here, because he traveled the world and stuff when he was a top athlete, and they would do a lot of training camps in Cuba. He said he would have to ask them, and you know, he only speaks, well, he speaks Portuguese and English too, but not at the level of his native Spanish, of course. And he would just tell me like those are like the the one group of people in the world where he would have to be like, I need you to slow down and say it again because I just can't understand what you're saying. And he didn't feel like that about Puerto Ricans or any other place that he went to. So yeah, Cuba's different, man. And I think too, it just matters like how country the people are. Like the more uneducated and the more away from urban areas they are, it's always worse. Now I want to know what's the difference between a deep South Argentinian and someone else. I want to what differentiates their accents, what kind of characteristics. I also find it hilarious that Caribbean Spanish speaking places get pegged with the dropping the S thing when like almost all of South America does that shit. Argentinians, like the motherfuckers are not saying vos, like they're saying vo, like especially here, bro. I don't know if y'all ever heard a Caleño talk, but they don't say S's, bro. Like they literally say hey henor, like with J's, bro. My doctor. My doctor, bro. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, usually it's like, okay, like the further you go up in education, the more they enunciate and stuff, bro. My doctor be saying shit like 18. Like, he doesn't say 18. And I'm just like, damn. So I just always find it funny that, like, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, they're like, oh, they never pronounce S's. Yeah, I started dropping my S because of all the Argentinians I talked to. Yeah, bro, you see what I'm saying? Like literally, like I don't know enough people in South America to just be like, oh yeah, everyone in South America does it. But the people that I do know from South America, most of them don't say S's. Can you distinguish an Argentinian accent from an Uruguayan? I think so, but I mean that's easy to say without proving it. But like to me, like Argentinians actually sound like they're like trying to sound Italian. Like Argentinians sound like Italian people speaking Spanish to me. People from Uruguay don't sound like that to me. They still got the whole like thing going on, but they don't sound Italian. So that's how I always know. I'm like, this motherfucker don't sound like he from Argentina, but he's saying me chamo. So, but outside of that, it's kind of just like I can just do it, but I don't have something to just be like, oh, here's how I can tell. I just can most of the time. I don't think I've ever been wrong, but I haven't had that many examples. It's been like 4 times. People from Uruguay, the ones that I know, every single person I know from Uruguay speaks Portuguese, and I don't know how to explain it, but you can hear the influence of it in their Spanish. Like you can tell that they speak another language besides Spanish. But that's just the ones that I know. But accents like that, I think it's hilarious when like some white dude learns Spanish like that goes to like live over there or something, because it's such a strong accent. You just like don't expect that someone that learned the language is gonna sound like that. But I know a few people that learned from Argentinians. Uh, I know a girl that lived in Chile. I don't know her like that. I just follow her on TikTok, and she's white, and she has a crazy Chilean accent. They both sound Italian to me. Nah, dog. Uruguay, it's not as, I don't know how to explain it, bro. It's not as pronounced. But like I said, I don't know enough about Argentina. I'm sure there's parts of Argentina where it doesn't sound so Italian. So I'm just generalizing. Lafayette, do you have a Cali accent because you live there? No. Super strong. Axel, do we have any Doritos left or no? Funny thing is, my teacher said he's neutral, but I picked up all his little quips, so people say I sound Argentinian. Here's the thing, bro. Everyone thinks they speak neutral, or every neutral speaker thinks they're speaking neutral, but you can't speak neutral because you still have the expressions, and just all the little cultural things of the place that you're from. You know what I mean? So it's just impossible. You could be pretty neutral for your country. Like someone in your country can say, "Oh yeah, it's pretty neutral," but someone from another country would be like, "This dude sounds like he's from Colombia." Like, you should watch a Messi interview from when he was a teen versus a recent interview. His Argentinian accent is not as strong. You're saying it wasn't as strong. Why'd you say no? Wait, can I get it in the bowl so I can put the hot sauce in?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why
brother.
did you say that?
Because last time you just brought it, so I thought you was going to do that again.
No.
My fault, OG. Will be annoying the shit out of me when he said you have a neutral accent. You sound what equal Caribbean to me. That is my default setting. But I do put on a fake Cali accent when I talk to people here. The thing is, it's like I just said. Hold on, let me pour this. Damn, it's all crumbs, bro. Alright, that's good. The thing is that there's certain words if you say certain words, certain expressions, it's almost impossible to sound like you're from somewhere else. Like you can't. There's only so many ways you could say no mames, right? If you say no mames, you can't say no mames and sound like you're from Puerto Rico. You get what I'm saying? So same thing. There's only so many ways you can say vos sabes. Like you could try to say it with a different accent, but if you say vos sabes, people just think, oh, this fucking guy's from here. Like there's no way you could really say like ayúdame, colaborame. Like you can't say that and sound Mexican because Mexicans don't use el voceo. So like using che, yeah, or boludo, pelotudo, whatever the fuck they be saying. Like you can't say that shit and sound Mexican. No, I'm saying it used to be way stronger. Rolando, that is part of life, bro. It's part of life if you travel. Like I said that before to you probably. Like I don't sound like I'm from Texas anymore unless I'm talking to my friends in Texas because I've neutralized my accent from traveling to so many places and like wanting to be understood basically or just like not wanting to be like so different. There's some people that go harder when they go to other places because they like being like the standout guy. But that shit annoys me, bro. Like every time you say something, people are like, ha 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 ha. Like, shut up, bitch. So, like I said earlier, you know, lots of people in the deep south, especially like Dallas and shit, bro, people say her. Pass me a burr. But if I'm not talking to somebody from the south, I try to neutralize it and say, pass me a beer. That's still not as clear as like beer, but I won't say it like normal because it could be like burr. Now I gotta be like, shut the fuck up. Do you feel that your Spanish leans to an accent? If so, which one? Um, I mean, Edwin just told you. To him, it sounds Boricua or Caribbean. So I mean, that's what everyone says. Like I said, unless I'm faking an accent. But if I just talk naturally, that's what everyone says. I get roasted by certain countries because of how they use the predator. Give me an example. Put on a Cali accent? Nah, bro. I'm gonna get too embarrassed. But if you ever meet me in person, I'll do it. When I walk out in the streets and shit, I do it just so I don't stick out. Yeah, I lost my Indiana accent. Yeah, man. It's pretty natural. But that's what I was saying earlier. The worst people to talk to in any language are country ass motherfuckers that have never even left their hometown. Because everyone understands them. So they never have a reason to like neutralize any words or anything like that. Like there's just hella expressions and like weird shit that my grandparents would say that I wouldn't blink twice at, but anyone else in the world would just be like, what the fuck does that mean? As for the Uruguayan accent, sounding Italian, I think it kind of does because not all people in Italy sound the same. It's Southern Italians that sound super sing-songy. Maybe the Italians who moved to Uruguay were from Northern Italy. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's not true. I just said that's how I can differentiate them. When it doesn't sound so Italian to me, that's when I know. So in most other countries we use ave Argentinians like to use the preterite in the same spot. Nah, I need an actual example, bro. The worst part about grammar is that I guess very similar to a native speaker in their own language. I know this stuff, but like the terminology, I'll just be like, ooh, preterite, what's that? I'll be like, ooh. I'm like, don't know. I'm like, conditional? What is conditional? I don't know. But if you ask me like to tell you the sentence, I could. Other countries. ¿Has visto las noticias? Che, ¿viste las noticias? That's not that crazy. I know what you mean though. I've heard that before. I actually heard someone else say, I heard a Spaniard and an Argentinian both say that in those two countries they tend to do that more than other countries. I did hear that. But to me, that doesn't sound that crazy. Maybe there's another sentence. Yeah, you know, there's certain subjects and certain sentences where things sound like more weird. So maybe just that sentence doesn't sound that bad. But I understand. Because it's the same way in English. Like, technically, most people would say, have you seen the movie? Like, have you seen Terminator? Have you seen whatever? But certain people in the world, including myself, would just be like, you seen the movie blah, blah, blah? Or did you see the movie blah, blah, blah? Most people say, have you seen? But it's still understandable. I use both. Visto las noticias and viste las noticias. Both sound correct. But that's what I was saying. Just because something is correct doesn't mean it doesn't sound weird to other people. And I think that's what he's getting at. That Caso Cerrado theme song says nostalgic as the Judge Mathis, Judge Judy theme song for me now. Mike, my guy always said I'll be back. I don't even know if you're still in here. All right, bro. Yeah, so I actually don't use haber much, which in turn means not much past participle. I don't know which one of those is correct. Both of them sound ugly. Participle. No. Rolando. Participle? It's gotta be participle, right? Participle. This is my point right here. All that terminology shit, don't know it. I just know how to use it. I feel like it's participle. But yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. Bro, you can't say the first. I said both of them like 20 times. I don't remember which one was the first. All right. Number one, participle. Number two. I don't even, what the fuck else did I say? Oh, I said participle. So you're saying it's number one. See, what happens sometimes is like, it is number one, okay. Sometimes I know the word in Spanish, and the Spanish pronunciation messes it up, because I don't know the word in English, like I've never said it out loud. So then I'm like, wait a second, this shit sounds off now, bro. when I was looking for exchange partners, Argentinians kept saying yes. I didn't even do that on purpose. My others kind of fizzled, like the one I had from Spain. Mm. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of natural. Um, Essentially, that's what happened in my life, not on purpose. Just my friends just all ended up being Puerto Rican or Colombian. But it wasn't like I was just like Xing out people from other countries. It's just like, I don't know. Either the vibes was off or they got busy or whatever. So we ended up having all Puerto Ricans, or all Colombians. Oh, too much hot sauce. Hot sizzle. I think that's hella funny though. I think of all the accents you probably could have, that's the funniest one if you're gonna meet random people, because they're just gonna be like, what the? I think accents like that too, like, I think the further away an accent is from normal, the harder it is for people to believe that you're not from there. Or that your parents are not from there or something. Like, it's just like, you telling me you just learned from people and you got a fucking thick ass Argentinian accent? Certain groups, I kind of suppress it. That's a whole nother talk. Interesting. I wonder what that's about. Have you ever heard a Spanish speaker use habemos? For instance, habemos mucha gente, esperando afuera. Yeah, I hear everything, bro. A lot of Puerto Rican rappers that have like crazy bad grammar, they'll say like, habían mucha gente, habían muchos, blah, blah, blah. And I just be like, yeah, that's not how you do that, bro. Spanish learners holding certain accents to a higher pedestal, essentially. Interesting. What what would you say is the accent that most Spanish learners want to learn in your experience? Just your opinion. I've heard people say it, but infrequently. I've heard people say that almost doesn't exist. Why do they say it doesn't exist? I feel like I hit a plateau on my learning journey. You know anything to help with that? It feels like I'm stuck at A2. Well, without knowing what's going on in your journey personally, that's kind of hard to say. But if I were you, well, actually, I'll ask you some questions right now. How often do you speak to people out loud? That's my first question. I frequent a Hello Talk in tandem. I would usually wind up with black folks naturally, and they all favor Caribbean. Oh, yeah, of course. Always Dominican, too. Not even just Caribbean. It's Dominican, bro. I'm in a group chat like that where I help people learn. All the content, everything Dominican. I'm like, bro, y'all don't want to visit no other countries? Y'all don't want to learn other stuff? Like, nope. Black dudes, Dominicans, peanut butter and jelly, dog. Thing is, Latin used to have, I don't know how to say that in Latin. Además, for instance, it's still used in the church. When they announce a new pope, they say Además Papam, which means we have a new pope. Interesting. Over here, why you say your ass like that? Yeah. Honestly, sometimes other people learning are the worst people to talk to. Now, honestly, that group that I'm a part of, if I wasn't there to moderate it, there's another dude too. If we weren't there to moderate it, that child would be crazy. I'm seeing hella misinformation up in there, just wrong. And I'd be like, no, that's not true. That's not how language works. I think you just heard it wrong. And they're like, no, I'm telling you, they said this. And I'm like, no, they literally did. You just don't speak well enough. Not yet. Only whenever I'm at work, but it depends on how many Spanish speakers there are. I do italki conversation with my teacher for an hour a week, but that's about it. Okay, so, you know, you only have the time that you have, so I can't force you to spend more time doing it. But 1 hour a week, that's cool. If on top of that you're doing a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, if you're just dedicating 1 hour a week to it, it's gonna be difficult to make more rapid progress. I would say. The other thing too is I don't know who your instructor is, but you really have to get uncomfortable, bro. You really have to say, what do I not know how to say? Like for instance, if you're at an A2 level, do you know how to speak in the past tense and in the future? I'm guessing some Spanish speaking populations held on to Hablamos, but it mostly died out. Yeah, I just think some things are, what's the word I'm looking for? Not, they're just not used as frequently, bro. I feel like there's a lot of stuff like that. In all languages, it's just like, we just don't say this a lot. I don't know if that necessarily means it died out. But for instance, just the concept of we doing anything like is used less frequently than you saying you're gonna do something yourself. Because first of all, we're like the world is way less community based than it used to be, um, and we do a lot more things alone than we do together. So of course, in speech, things that you do by yourself are gonna be said. No, I'm not talking about actual archaic words. I'm talking about just as a concept. Not so much the future. I'm barely just touching that, but a lot of past tense, though, for sure. Well, I mean, that's part of it. I would say like some of that stuff you have to do on your own, bro. Some of that stuff like a lot of conversations are held in the past and in the future. It's not too often that you're saying like I brush my teeth or I eat breakfast at 9 a.m. Like most of the time you're saying like I'm gonna go get dinner at this spot or I ate this yesterday or I'm probably gonna have to wake up at this time tomorrow. So if you don't have a really good grasp of the past and the future, that's gonna hinder you. But on top of that, um, you probably just need more input, bro. I don't know like what you do as far as getting your input, but you gotta start expanding it. The more you listen to at a level that you can kind of understand, the more you're gonna pick up Like as bad as people want it to be something else, like language is literally time and exposure. That's really the name of the game. Like you know so much English because you're X amount of years old. You went to school, you played sports, you went to the doctor, you had hella experiences and you learned all of these words. So there's really no shortcut. There's more efficient ways to do things for sure, and there's less efficient ways. But at the end of the day, it takes time. It takes a lot of input. Like I said, in English, you lived your whole life in English, bro. 24 hours, you're getting input. You're watching TV, your parents are talking to you, the radio's going, your friends are joning on you, just all kinds of stuff all day. So if you just spend 1 hour a day in Spanish, like yeah, or you said I don't even know if it's 1 hour a day. I know for sure you said 1 hour a week, but even just 1 hour a day, which I think is decent for sure. It's just not you're not gonna be on the pace that you were when you learned English. So people are like, oh, I've been studying for a year and I still can't have conversations. I'm like, well, studying for a year doesn't actually mean anything. Like, how much exposure did you get in that time period? Because I know people like I don't know if Mike's in the chat, but I know Mike started learning during quarantine. So I know he was spending a lot of time in those days learning. Not like on some like 12 hours a day type shit, but for sure, I know he was putting more than 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a rather common grammar mistake, conjugate haber in plural when its meaning is the same as existir, hubieron, habían, había. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the rappers do that shit all the time, bro. And it actually throws me off sometimes, but then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see the mistake. Thank you for all the words. So I need to hear my break's over, so I have to go with thanks. Yeah, take care, bro. If you need anything from me, fucking leave a comment, shoot me a message, bro. I would love to help you or whatever. Um, yeah, but I don't know if you can even hear this now. But yeah, we could talk about it later. I think I was 4 hours a day at one point. Yeah, man. I don't like to lie to people. I can't say that I ever like intentionally did 4 hours a day. But what I always tell people is like I like Spanish, bro. I like the culture, I like the music. I got friends that speak Spanish, so it wasn't a counting thing for me, bro. It wasn't, oh, I do 3 lessons a week. It was just like, bro, like I literally listen to music in Spanish. I watch TV series in Spanish. I got 3 books on my desk right here that are in Spanish. So I might tell someone like, yeah, I was doing uh for I'm gonna just say italki, but it wasn't italki. I'll tell someone, yeah, I did 4 italki sessions per week, 1 hour. And they'll be like, oh, but like, nah, because I've been doing it the same time as you and your progress is more. And I'm like, well, that's not the only thing I was doing. Like, I still, like I said, I read a lot. I watch a lot of TV. Like, you can hear Caso Cerrado in the back right now. Um, my wife's family speaks Spanish. Not that I hang out with them a lot or talk to them a lot, but every little thing, like I said, that's exposure. And over time, it's like the same thing as like, uh, it's anything, literally any skill, working out, whatever. Like if some dude, let's use basketball. Some dude goes to the court and he puts up 300 jumpers a day. You could put up 800 jumpers on Monday and 800 jumpers on Thursday. By the time it gets to, the end of the year, like that dude's gonna catch you, bro. Because yours is like intense and then you back off, intense and then you back off. And you probably take huge breaks and stuff instead of, like I said, just over time, just picking up. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people think that intense is better, but to me, intensity is not necessary, and sometimes it's not good. It's because like it can break you. I literally just watched this video today, and I don't know how I feel about her, But there's a YouTuber that I used to watch. I don't know if I should say her name. I don't want to start like no beef or nothing like that. But she started learning Spanish. I would say around the same time as me, maybe a little bit after. And she was making good progress. And she fell off. But then she came back and she was like, yo, I'm taking the, what is that shit called? The Dele B2 exam. And I'm like, oh shit, her Spanish is that good? Because at the time, I'm like, I don't know if I could take that shit, bro. And I started before her and I felt like I was having decent conversations and stuff. Anyways, she went crazy hard and for like 1 month, I think. And then she passed it. And I literally never saw her post a video again. A couple days ago, she popped up. It's been like a year or so, bro. She popped up and she said like she was back on her Spanish journey. I watched it. And that's basically what she said. She said, man, I went so hard and I burned myself out because I turned into a studying thing. I turned it into a studying thing for the exam. But she kind of lost me when I figured out the video was sponsored. She kept bringing up the book and I'm like, she's past that point to be reading that book, to be honest. And then she said that the guy sponsored the video and I'm like, I don't even know if she's really back on her Spanish game, bro. It feels like she just got an offer and she just made the video. It was a well-made video, but it kind of put me off, bro. I was like, nah. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about, and you know exactly how it felt, cause it was just too weird, bro. I'm like, nah, bro. You come back with the video and it's sponsored. I'm like, this feels not genuine. I didn't say nothing. I didn't comment or nothing, but the concept that she was talking about was real. I believe that she fell off, 100%. I don't know if she's really back or if it's just a sponsorship thing. Either way, it was weird. I don't think she should have did that. But the point is, yeah, turning this shit from an enjoyable experience to this is work for me is tough, bro. It's not a good idea to me. I would never do that. Even like, I don't know if y'all saw, but I'm gonna make a video about it. But I signed up for like a college course in Spanish, and so I've been doing it. It is really hard, but it's not like I'm studying just to take an exam. I enjoy psychology. I enjoy reading. So it's difficult in the sense that I don't know a lot of the fucking words and the concepts are just literally tough to grasp. But it's not like, oh man, I don't want to do this. Like I literally signed up for it myself. Like, and if I feel like it's too tough, I just fucking stop. It's free, bro. So I'm not gonna make my life miserable just to say I did something. Yeah, burnout is tough, for sure. I just remember this one dude in high school who had a super deep voice and spoke pretty slow. People said he spoke chopped and screwed. That's funny. You know, that's also something that has happened to me. Speaking of neutralizing accents, my voice has gotten lighter too. I used to do it intentionally, but now it's like I can't stop. But basically, I don't really want to make this like a racial conversation, but you know, basically if you're intimidating, if you look intimidating, you try to do things to be less intimidating. So I would lighten my voice to be like less intimidating. Obviously, like I don't talk high pitched or anything, but I used to talk like lower and deeper than this. And I just like can't anymore. It's just not how I talk anymore. It's pretty weird actually when I think about it. Like even there's been people that have like said to me like, bro, remember when you had a crazy deep voice? And I just be like, that's a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to think about. Like, but I did like a fucking psyop on myself and changed my voice forever. What was that book called again? Words from Hell. I need to make sure I don't forget it. Gotta put it in my memory castle right now. Once you confirm that it's Words from Hell, I'll put it in my drawer. Nah, you don't have to send the link. I got it. I just put it in my memory castle. Words from Hell. I prefer Southern accents. I think rap sounds better from dudes with Southern accents. Ooh, that's a controversial opinion, bro. Considering rap kind of started in New York, bro. They would be very upset if they heard you say that. In fact, I remember, you gotta be kind of old to remember this. I remember when they used to say the South couldn't rap, bro. And then I remember when they said Atlanta wasn't the South because Big Boy and Andre was doing stuff. And they're like, man, this shit not even the South. The South was saying Atlanta wasn't the South. It was crazy. It was crazy. But I remember when they said the South couldn't rap, which is crazy. Very, very crazy. My back. Been getting a lot of recommendations of New Journey Spanish folks, ones using YouTube to hold them accountable to keep learning. Me too. I've commented on like 3 people's shit, bro. Like in the last like 2 weeks. I don't know why I watch them. There's literally nothing that I get out of it. I just kind of enjoy. I think I enjoy seeing that sparkle in people's eyes that they're learning and they're like, oh, I figured out this and I know what this means now. That's the feeling that you have to keep the whole time, and that's the thing that people lose because they take it so seriously. Because they make these crazy goals, and the thing that holds them accountable, sometimes it hurts them in the end because they'll say like, oh, my goal is to be fluent in 1 year or some shit, and they're like, oh, if I don't do this, my YouTube is gonna be blah blah blah. So they make it like serious. They're like going hard. Whereas like, bro, I just do my thing, bro. I think I've said it on here before. I do not care if someone doesn't consider me fluent. I don't care if someone doesn't consider me intelligent. I don't care what people consider me, bro. I do my thing. If somebody asks me, can I speak English? I say yes. If somebody asks me, can I speak Spanish? I say yes. If they ask me at what level, I say, I don't know. I can talk though. Who's a YouTuber? Like, who's a YouTuber I would say they fell off? Who's a YouTuber that I would say fell off? Is that what you're asking me? Spanish wise? Let me think on that. Unless you're asking me specifically about that girl that I was talking about. Giselle, what's up? I just watched a YouTube short from a girl originally from New Jersey complaining that her accent is not as deep and intimidating since moving to California. Yeah. Bro, traveling, it changes everything, bro. It literally changes how you talk. Country people are the only people that, like I said, keep that crazy strong accent. Everybody else that travels, you end up, because the thing is, and I'm sure you guys have probably noticed this, like if you talk to someone, their accent kind of rubs off on you, bro, especially if their shit's stronger than yours. And that's in any language, like even in English, if I talk to certain people, I end up saying stuff that they say or whatever. And so I feel like the more you travel, the more that happens, and then you just end up kind of with no accent, or less of an accent anyways. Oh no, like mine is Demontre. Demontre? I don't think I know who that is. Is his YouTube name Demontre? I'm gonna have to check it out. I guess there might not be a point in checking it out if he fell off. But you already know mine, man. I'll never forget this dude, Marshall Powell, bro. Marshall Powell was the reason that I wanted to move to Colombia, bro. I saw dude's shit and I'm like, yo, Colombia looks cool, bro. Giselle says not so good, but with a smiley face. That's a little creepy. I'm scared. All right, Edwin, thanks for being in the chat, bro. You were the first one here. You kept me on here, so you have a good night, bro. I'll see you next time. Yeah, I binged his videos because of you. Yeah, bro. Hella cool channel, man. It was cool because he was like taking salsa lesson, talking to people in the street so you could hear more Spanish and stuff. And motherfucker just got shook and moved back to Seattle. I had a super deep Southern accent after watching the Netflix series Ozark. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. The more stuff you consume, it changes you, bro. But that's why I said country motherfuckers don't change. They don't be watching TV, bro. Motherfuckers be listening to the radio, working outside and shit, bro. Their accents don't change like that. They don't travel. Do, 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 do. Me sube la bilirrubina. Ooh, 90 Day Fiance. Have you watched Ozarks? No, I have not watched Ozarks. I'm more of a movie guy than I am a show guy, bro. And the thing too is like I'm very critical of plots and just the way things are. So the thing that saves a lot of Spanish speaking shows is that I'm wanting to learn more words. If it was just the acting and the plots, a lot of times I'll be like, this shit's garbage. So in English, there's nothing to save them. I'm just like, this shit's trash, bro. I'm turning this shit off. Like, I can't stand horrible acting, bro. And if the acting's horrible, the story needs to be amazing, bro. Like, there's one movie that I like, uh, that has horrible acting, but the story's amazing. What is it called? The Man from Earth. Y'all ever watch The Man from Earth? I've been addicted to Tokyo Vice all week. I don't even know what that is. The anime? Ozarks is amazing. Alright, I might have to check it out. The actors did an amazing job with the southern accents. That's the other thing too, bro. I'm super critical of accents, bro. If I could tell that the accent is fake, I'm out, bro. And most of the time I can tell that it's fake. Actually, it really doesn't matter that it's fake. I don't care if their accent bleeds through sometimes. What I don't like is when a motherfucker says he's from Texas and they got a Georgia accent. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, who was the accent coach for this, bro? Like, why didn't they just teach him some kind of Texas accent? Like, all Southern accents are not the same. We don't talk nothing like people in Georgia, bro. So I just find that disrespectful. But that's like all TV, bro. Like, Narcos, bro. Oh my God. These motherfuckers have Brazilians and Mexicans on the show. I'm like, bro, these are not Colombian accents. What is this? Giselle hasn't seen it. Giselle, what have you seen? It's a live action show about a Cajun reporter trying to help take down a Yakuza boss. I've been watching this show called Ninja something. Ninja starts with a K. I don't know, but it's straight. It's straight. No, Giselle. I said, what have you seen, not what haven't you seen. Yeah, Ninja come away or whatever the fuck. I don't know how to say it. That's what I just said. Starts with a K. I don't even know how to say a lot of shit, bro. Bro, you know how much that happened to me as a kid, bro? Because I've been like an avid reader my entire life, bro. So there's so many words in my head that I've never said out loud. I can tell you exactly what they mean, but just because I never said them, I might hear someone else say it and I didn't even know that they're saying that word. And I'd be like, oh, that's how you pronounce it? Just never said that shit before. I've seen so many things. What in particular? What's your favorite show? Giselle knows some good anime too. The Candidato. Is that from Argentina? One, two, Freddy's coming for you. Movies or shows? What's your favorite? So you're a movie person. That's what I said too. I'm more of a movie person than a show person. At least if a movie's trash, like at least it's done after that. I don't want to like try to wait out a series. People be like, nah, bro, after you get past season 1, it's good. I'm like, bro, I gotta watch 8 episodes before the shit gets good? That's crazy. I watch all way too much. Mexico. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I seen the like trailers for it, but I never watched it. Bro, I just don't watch a lot of Mexican content. My favorite, let me think of my favorite Mexican shows. El Dragón, La Reina del Sur, that was a good one. Have I even seen anything else? There was one based on a real life event that I saw. It's called La Búsqueda. That shit was rough. That was a weird series. I almost dropped Breaking Bad. Yeah, I did drop Breaking Bad. I've still never watched it all. And everyone always says that. They're like, bro, you just had to get past this and then it gets crazy. But nah, dog. And the Spanish in Breaking Bad was trash too, bro. Oh my god, you could tell they weren't Spanish speakers. There's like one character in the whole show that was actually a Spanish speaker. The black dude, who's actually Italian, Giancarlo, I can't remember what his last name is. Giancarlo Esposito or some Esposita. I can't remember his last name. His Spanish was so damn trash, bro. God damn. House Moving Castle. I watched that because of Giselle. That was really good. Forrest Gump's good. The Secret Island. I don't know The Secret Island. John Wick's cool. Game of Thrones was good. The end was incredibly trash. Ruined literally everything. El laberinto del fauno. What is that about? Is that Pan's Labyrinth? No, that can't be Pan's Labyrinth. What is that about? And what country is it from? Busca Implacable. Don't know that one either. He's Italian, Giancarlo? Bro, yes. First of all, his name's Giancarlo. It's the most fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Italian name I've ever heard. But on top of that, yes, he's Italian. Yeah, yeah. I realized that, bro. I realized by YouTube comments and Twitter comments that people thought that he was from a Spanish speaking country, and I'm like, they don't even have a Spanish speaking name, bro. But outside of that, his Spanish sounds like they told him the lines right before they shot it, and he was practicing it in his head. Pulp Fiction, that's a classic. That's a classic.
un accidente.
12 Angry Men. That's old. Old. The opera talk poking out too much. What does that mean? Is he an opera singer or something? Oh, his mom was an opera singer. Oh wow. The Pursuit of Happiness. I fell asleep on that shit in the movie theater, and I woke up. That movie was not good to me. It's straight, but it's not good. Like that shit's overhyped. La Marca de la Bestia. Nah, I've never seen that. I don't think. If you put the titles in Spanish, I assume that it's a Spanish speaking movie. How is Tommy Davidson Spanish? I don't know. I've never heard it. The Irishman. I never watched it. I heard it was real good though. Heard it was good. You know who has really good Spanish? George Bush's son. That motherfucker be talking his ass off in Spanish, bro. I was like, wow. He's like maybe the only politician that I've ever heard that didn't have to like learn some lines to try to win voters. You know, like everybody else is like, I can't even think of the shit that they be saying, but like they literally just memorize one line and they can't say it good. George Bush's son, that motherfucker be doing whole interviews in Spanish. I'd be like, oh, he's cooking. Always thought about making a blog. Might as well, dog. You know what I thought about doing? I'm just too lazy. I thought about making like a separate channel and like just talking about movies or books that I watched. But I might just start making TikToks, bro. I'm gonna just get on TikTok and be like, yo, this movie's trash. Don't watch it. I'm gonna make a TikTok. I'm gonna make a TikTok series called 10-second movie reviews. No long talking, just straight up, yo, this movie sucks. Would not recommend. And just end the TikTok there. Man, Cory Booker Spanish is trash. One time I don't know, it was a long time ago. I watched a video of like, it was literally like politicians speaking Spanish. And it had like 10 of them. And like I said, George Bush's son was the only one that was decent. Almost all of them were just crazy trash, bro. There was one dude, and I didn't know his name then, so I don't know it now. He actually could speak, but he just like refused to, like, he was speaking Spanish in English, if you know what I mean by that. Like the most typical like gringo accent ever. it's like he was doing it on purpose. Like he was like, I'm not breaking to the pressure, cause like he knew like the grammar structures and stuff. Like he was actually giving a speech, but he just was saying it like it was his first day ever speaking Spanish. It was the weirdest shit ever. So I can't put him on the level of George Bush's son because his accent was just disgusting. But like I said, Jed, Jeb, Jeb, that motherfucker be cooking, bro. I met a ton of those on Hello Talk. Yeah, that shit's annoying, bro. It's dudes like that in the group that I'm in too, bro. Like, it's one thing to have an accent. Everyone can't sound like everyone doesn't have like that gift to have the ear and to pick up another accent. That's fine. But it's another thing to just refuse to say the sounds of the next language, like not even making an attempt. I'm like, why are you even learning, bro? Like, what? That shit is weird, bro. And the worst thing is a lot of the dudes, they'll complain. They'll complain that they're like, I said this, and they were acting like they didn't understand me. And I'm like, bro, they probably didn't understand you because you're pronouncing it wrong, bro. Like, not a little bit. Like, you're not saying the letter at all how they would say it, bro. How would they understand that shit? Funny part is I can't understand them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you know, for a native speaker to not understand what you're saying, you gotta be crazy off, bro. Because like even when people have strong accents, I usually can like piece together what they're saying. Unless the accent's just too crazy and they're not saying enough words. Like I always try to express that to the people that I teach English too. Like they feel like they're not expressing themselves well, so they get frustrated. But I'm like, bro, I can understand you. This is my native language. If you say enough words, I know exactly what you're trying to say. Like, language is like you can only say so many things. So, a lot of language is very like predictable. If you start a sentence a certain way, like it's only gonna go a couple of places. So, but yeah, if a native speaker can't understand like where you're trying to go with your sentence, it's missing a lot. A whole lot. No, yeah. They be C1. That's insane. That's very crazy. Honestly, bro, I really have no desire to take one of those exams, but I be seeing some people that I just be like, I feel like they don't speak that well. And they'll say like they passed a B2 or a C1 exam. And I'm like, what the? I thought C1 was pretty high, but must be easier to pass the test than I think. I know like one thing I looked at, the guy said that, I don't remember how he said it, but he basically said like the way it was weighted, you could do kind of bad on the speaking, but if you got the overall score, you still got the like qualification that you were looking for. So like he actually showed his results, and his writing, reading, and listening were pretty high. His speaking was like hella low, but it still passed the threshold, and the overall score passed the threshold for him to get a C1. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. Some companies require you to take them so soon. Oh, so soon I'll take a crack at it. Yeah, if I had some kind of job, like some prospect of a job, and they were like, oh, we'd like you to have it, I would do it. But outside of that, I'm probably never gonna do it. I get it. It's just like personal trainer stuff. Like, I knew a lot before I ever was certified as a personal trainer. But for a company to hire you, they're like, we need a certification. So I was like, okay, I'll go do it. And I know people with certifications that don't know that much. Same kind of thing as the Spanish thing. Like, I'm like, yo, the certification is the bare minimum to at least say that you studied and you have like at least this little base of knowledge to be qualified to teach someone. That doesn't mean that you're good. That doesn't mean that you uh, can help the people that you're going to encounter. So, if you took the test, what would you try to get? What level do you think you're at, or what level do you think you could pass? I think when I saw the dude do it daily, it was like he went in for a B2, but he got a C1. I think they said like you could go up or down depending on your score. I don't really know how the process works exactly. I could pass B2. Shit, B2 is all you need, man. I think people want C1 and C2 because it sounds cool, but realistically, like if you are like legitimately at a B2 level, like what can you not do? Like you could talk at a job, you could make conversation with people. So I think C1 just sounds cooler. C1, C2, it's like, oh shit, like you're really him. Like you really study that shit. But I feel like a lot of people think they're B2 and they're not B2. But that could just be me because I don't really know how that shit works. But I think a lot of people overestimate their capabilities because they just think like in their head like, oh yeah, I can talk about anything until they actually talk. So, but it's weird though because the people that I think speak very well underestimate themselves, and the people that I don't think speak that well, they kind of like boost themselves. And I'm like, I don't know, dog. I don't know. That's why I never gas myself, bro. I'm like, I don't know. I just be talking. What is on TV? Ooh, Chucky. DJ César. Hola, buenas noches. ¿Estás en Colombia? Sí, vivo en Colombia. ¿Qué pasa? My rule of thumb is if you can hold a friend-to-friend convo past the whole intro part, you're B2 without them having to talk too slow or whatever. That makes sense. I think, I think everyone has their own, definition of whatever and fluency and B2 and all of that stuff. I feel like mine is similar to that. I feel like if you can talk to anybody without getting lost, like you said, or them having to change everything. ¿En qué ciudad estás? Estoy en Cali. Soy profe de español para extranjeros. Primera vez que veo tu canal. Bueno, bienvenido. ¿Y dónde vives tú? But yeah, I pretty much agree. I just think, like I said, I don't think as many people. I think the thing is that people don't know when someone's talking to them slow. That's the thing, bro. They don't realize that their friend or whoever has realized that they're not there and has brought it down. which is why, like, if you ever, this might have happened to you. You thought you were at a certain level and you hear two native speakers talk to each other and you're like, what the fuck are they saying, bro? Because you didn't realize that people were bringing it down for you. That happened a lot to me in the beginning. I'm like, damn, I thought I was cooking. And then you hear two people talk and I'm like, bro, I barely caught half of the shit they said. Soy de Barranquilla. En Barranquilla me quedo. Tu, 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 tu. Bro, what am I watching? Bro just burnt the whole house down. I would go into native chats and just listen before bed. Yeah, bro. That's the best way. That's why I like listening to podcasts and stuff, because, you know, they're just talking to each other and they're not thinking about, oh, I need to be clear for people that are listening. Me parezco a tu alumno. Peter. ¿Cuál es su apellido? Peter. De Canadá. I try podcasts, but the one topic is kind of rough for me. Probably my ADHD. That's fair, but if you get the right podcast, bro, they cover a variety of topics. Like oh man, I forgot the name of the podcast. See, I'll be listening to something for so long that I forget what the name of it is. I want to say it's Pata Abajo. I can't remember the name of the podcast, but it's a Puerto Rican podcast where it's like they're young dudes that are from Puerto Rico, but they live in Florida, and they'll just kind of talk about everything that's happening in the world. So the Diddy joint happens, you know, the NBA, let's just say the finals happen, something happened in football, something happened here. They'll talk about all of that shit in one podcast. So it's not like a podcast where, like, today we're gonna talk about financial prosperity and like that's all they talk about for the whole thing. It's literally just like three homies just like making jokes and like, oh, did you see this happen? This happened? And they're like, what? No, I didn't see that. Look it up. Pull up the article. Kind of like a Joe Rogan thing, but in Spanish. $10:45. Nah, that's early. I'll stay on for a while. Puedes suscribirme a tu canal. Acabo de ver tu testimonio de cómo aprendiste español. Lo compartiré en mi grupo de español en WhatsApp. Ah, muchas gracias, muchas gracias. ¿Y subes contenido en tu canal o no? No puedo verlo en este momento porque estoy haciendo esto, pero quiero verlo más tarde si hace contenido. How many earthquakes have you gone through in Cali? Just one, but I didn't really feel it, bro. I was asleep. It was like 5 in the morning. I wake up really easily, so I did like wake up when it happened, but I didn't know why I woke up. It wasn't like, oh my God, the building's shaking, because it actually hit like in another city, but just the waves kind of made it here. But just one that I know of that people actually talked about here. There could have been some other ones that I didn't feel or that I didn't hear about. Dame propio canal de español que empecé hace unos meses. Ahí comparto los videos de mis alumnos y sus avances con el español. Ah, bueno. ¿Tienes algún número de contacto? Y sí. Dime cuando estés listo y te digo. I move in a month. Where you going, bro? You going to Argentina for real, bro? Winnipeg. Oh, I think you did. I think you did tell me that before. Is that for university? I've literally never met anyone from there before. Winnipeg. Crazy. I wish I had a pen. I would just write my number for this dude. But I'm gonna have to just tell him. I got family in Winnipeg. That place isn't real, dog. I've never met anybody from there. I suppose there's a lot of cities that I haven't met people from. Sometimes I just hear people are from somewhere and I'm just like, dog, where are all the people that come from that city? I'm excited, but I'm not. So what moves are you making if they're not private? Obviously, you don't have to tell me. What moves are you making that you think is going to help you open your door to travel? 2 cousins born there? That's dope. Colin, how's your Spanish going, bro? Finishing my studies to start cloud engineering so I can work anywhere. That's the move right there, bro. That's the move. Which would then allow me to travel doing gig work. That makes sense. That's smart. Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a good plan. I like it. Getting better, working harder on it. What are you working on, bro? What's the last thing you learned? What's the last concept you learned? You've had to have learned a new grammar structure or something. Don't tell me a word. Tell me a thing that you learned. Whether it be a form of conjugation or anything. Also, anybody that is in this chat right now that has not clicked like on this video, you are a crazy fake person. And don't try to sneak and click it. It's too late. You're fake. Super fake. How does the poll have 14 votes, but there's not 14 likes on the video? That's actually insane. Well, at least someone voted no, I'm a hater, so that makes sense. But everybody else is fake. I was a senior software dev for 10 years, but it was a specific language which was hard to find work for in South America. Bro, my clicker broke. What do you mean your clicker broke? How? Not a believable lie. Can't give you a pass. That dude asked for my contact information and he disappeared. Do, 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 do. So, damn, you said 10 years ago you were a software dev. Wait, how old are you? $35. Oh, okay. I was like, you can't be too young if you said 10 years ago. I'm about to turn 32 on Tuesday, bro. Getting old, dog. Getting old. Oh, no, I was laid off last year. Yeah, no, I remember you told me that. So what was the language, the programming language that you said would have been hard to find in South America? Just coming in and say hello, about to go to sleep. Hope you're doing well. Hope your missus and family doing well. Yeah, bro, everything's good. Chilling, bro. I took some steps today without my braces, so your boy's on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Slowly but for surely. What's up? Hmm? Slowly but for surely. You sound like that girl from TikTok earlier.
You need anything?
I don't think so. Don't think so, man. You on to sleep?
No, I'm just checking if you get something.
Oh, thanks.
Shower.
Bam beats. Yeah, that was definitely me, bro. That shit's scary, bro. It's crazy how you can go from being the strongest motherfucker in the world to just like scared to take steps, dog. I'm like, my therapist is like, what are you scared of? You can do it. And I'm like, bro, I feel like, bro, what if I take a step and my shit snaps again, bro? I'm like, nah. I was sweating, bro. Getting to understand a few new things, but it's hard and I get confused with the grammar, but learning slowly but steady. Bruh, you didn't tell me anything. You just told me that you learned a few new things. I want to know what you learned. I might even be able to help you understand it better. I did Ruby on Rails, but they all use React and whatnot, the newer, fancier languages. That's crazy because I have no idea what any of that means. Why I even asked you, I don't know. I just asked, but I knew that I wasn't gonna understand the answer. So, but now if I ever see that stuff again, I'll be like, wait a second, I've seen this before. I know what this is. Do you feel like tech is getting like oversaturated? I feel like everyone's trying to get into tech now. Like literally every person I know is like, I'm doing these programming courses because tech's where it's at right now. I'm like, well, it ain't gonna be where it's at if everybody's doing it. Glad you're taking them steps. Yeah, man, it's slowly for sure. It's definitely a slow process. But in reality, bro, it's been 9 weeks, bro. 9 weeks. Probably feels fast to other people. I don't know, but not a lot of time has actually passed since that day, since I got the surgery. So I just like for most people, it takes 12 to 16 weeks just for the surgery to heal, just for you to be able to like be confident that your shit ain't gonna re-snap. So I'm not even there yet, bro. So like 12 weeks is usually where they're like, all right, like you should be good to like walk around and stuff like that. But it's not even until you get to like 16 weeks, 16 to 24 weeks that you can really like start doing like leg days, and not obviously not heavy because you haven't been doing shit, but like actually like trying to squat your body weight, trying to do step ups and stuff. Because that shit's just literally not permitted in the beginning because you will re-tear it. So glad I got my years. For like newcomers, they want like 5 years of experience. I actually saw a TikTok about that. It was like some new thing, and they said they wanted 3 years of experience, and they're like, bro, this shit literally came out in 2022. Like that's not possible. And like the CEO like made a TikTok, and he was like, we're looking for people that are motivated enough and inspired enough to convince us that they could do it even though they don't have the experience. I don't know. They wanted someone to lie and say that they had the experience. I feel like that's like all jobs these days, bro, because that should be saying like you need 15 years of experience. And I'm like, bro, you're not about to find nobody with that shit, bro. What are you talking about? Every job that I've ever thought about applying, I look at the experience and I'm like, let me just move on. Let me pick another job. They're like, we would prefer that you had a PhD and 18 years of experience. And I'm like, for this job? For what? Like, why? You're not about to find nobody with those qualifications, bro. That's probably why you got an open spot right now. Giselle's back. Giselle, do you like horror movies? No me quiero bañar. No me quiero bañar. Si cochino me voy a quedar. No me gusta el shampoo, no me gusta el jabón. Si cochino me queda mejor. Waiting for Giselle to tell me if she likes horror movies. Giselle, you're not gonna tell me if you like horror movies? This is crazy. I'm being ignored.
Come on, let's go ask her. Let's go real party about this crap.
I'm sorry. It's just a big misunderstanding. Yeah. You enjoyed the party.
He still didn't tell me. He's just laughing at my face. This is crazy. Oh, Giselle. What am I gonna do with you?
Good to go. Thank you. And appreciate you feeling me out, baby. Means a lot.
Sure thing.
Honestly, wish some of that change thing does work out for you. You should think about the future here.
Well, so I need to
Understand? Real quick. Rapping real name just because of that. If you got 2 kids, it's a little.
I was watching the stream, but like 5 minutes before now. Why don't you click live on there so you catch up? And I still want to know, do you like horror movies? You still haven't answered me.
I don't trust anybody. Let alone smooth talking kind. You're right, I don't. So what you like at
Giselle's, it's gonna take Giselle forever to catch up. We need somebody else in the chat to talk. Where did Rolando go? Rolando hasn't said anything in forever. Colin doesn't want to tell me what he learned.
I'm gonna wait some more till I'm pretty proud.
Okay, Colin has a question. Why is mucho gusto? Nice to meet you. It's an interpretation, but you know, okay, like in English you could say like a pleasure to meet you, right? So you're saying it's pleasurable to have met the person. It's like the same thing. Giselle says I don't. See my comments. There's no comment. All you said is I'm back, and then you put a laughing emoji. Then you put I was watching the stream, but like 5 minutes before now, and then the next thing you said was I don't. Giselle, you should tell Colin why mucho gusto means nice to meet you. Giselle is our expert master of bilingualism, Spanish speaker, teacher, professor, academic genius. I was watching a video but looking at what you said like 5 minutes ago. I know, you told me. That's how I realized you weren't gonna answer me. That's why I was like, okay, we need to pick other people to talk. I don't even know if you're caught up right now. I would never know.
You get that? What do you say, EP?
It's for the tip. That's a good word.
Once in Ecuador, they sent police to my apartment. Why are you yelling like that? The movie's that scary? I love horror movies. One of my favorite genres of movies. Yeah, this is kind of random, but it's just because it's happening on my TV right now. I pretty much think sex scenes are always unnecessary. In every show and every movie, I'm like, this literally doesn't need to be on the screen right now. The only exception is if they're using it to show that the character is going through something. For instance, if they're showing that the guy is not paying attention to the woman because he's thinking about some stressful thing or something like that. But when they just have the scene for like 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, bro, we know what sex is. We don't need to see this. Shit just turns it into like softcore porn. Well, Colin, I'm sorry that our master of bilingualism ignored you and didn't tell you why mucho gusto means nice to meet you.
Listen up, we have a warrant to search this establishment. Hands in here, get a warrant. Get a warrant? Based on what? Based on we have a warrant. Everyone get up, move with your hands up against that wall. Come on. Let's go.
For some reason, you don't see my message at the time I hear you. Because you have click live on your video. Make sure that you're caught up to right now.
27 firearms in it? We had to put a rush order in the ballistics to complete. It's too much trouble. Listen, we'll go back to the sheriff's.
Yeah, I guess there's a good chance my mind's gonna come back with the body. Maybe it leaks.
Don't play about it with me.
Yeah, dude, this kid you shot for snitching.
That's real. I'm sorry. But like I said, those guns are not mine.
They're not gonna wind up in your barn.
Not my barn either. You know, you guys are gonna truck up some big ass charges. What can I go now?
I hear you, but my messages don't appear. Maybe you're typing something that's getting blocked by YouTube. Are you saying any cuss words? Your car was towed. Why? What'd you do? Parking incorrectly. How do you do that? What did you what did you do? I was inside in class. Never heard. So it was a university parking lot or what? I'm just trying to figure out how you parked incorrectly. Like, what did you do?
You can lie down.
Okay.
You get your water.
Thank you. Oh, I was about to say, you can't get in front of the screen.
Turn the camera.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. But I didn't want no kisses.
I don't want the camera to see.
That's cute.
Let me tell you. Left side, but downtown. I don't get it though. What I'm saying is, like, was it a parking spot that you were not allowed to be in, or what? What was the infraction? What did they say that you did incorrectly? Because usually in the States you can only get told if like, oh, you said yes. Yeah, so like at a university, if you don't have a pass on your car that says you're allowed to park there, they'll tow it. apartment complexes are the same. If you don't have a pass on your car, they tow it. But usually, for other stuff, they just give you a ticket. Supposedly, you cannot park on the left side of the street at all, or you can't park facing the wrong way on the left side of the street. Yo, on the show I'm watching, this police officer is having sex with this girl, and then forensic just told him that the girl is the murderer. No car on your birthday? When's your birthday? My birthday is in 4 days, 5 days. In 2 minutes, the crime is solved. Not this one. That's the whole thing. Right now, she's defending herself. She said it looks like she's the killer, but she's not. She just touched the gun because it was her ex-boyfriend. He shot somebody and he grabbed it. She grabbed it. Am I Aries? Yeah. What's up, bro? How's your Spanish going? Last time you sounded frustrated. This week I've been getting my ass whooped by Pedro Pascal. What did you learn, bro? Why are you getting your ass whooped? Giselle, crazy. Spanish student. Who? I'm learning, but it's a challenge. It's always a challenge, man. Yes, Giselle, he's a Spanish student. I don't know how I'm actually doing. You have to ask him. I'll ask him. I'll ask him tonight and see what he says. But he always talks good about his students, so I can't believe him. Giselle, my question was, when is your birthday? Now this police officer has to decide if he wants to turn her in or keep it a secret. Saturday. My birthday is on Tuesday. So Monday is the 15th, Sunday is the 14th. Saturday is the 13th. So your birthday is April 13th? What's the working culture like in Colombia? Like, are people slaves to the 9 to 5 or forced to work long hours? It really just depends. I'm not gonna lie. In Colombia, they work pretty long hours. Lots of the people. But at the same time, I also feel like they don't take their jobs as seriously as Americans do. Because Americans will work overtime and shit and do all this. Like, their life literally revolves around their work. Because everyone thinks that they're gonna, like, fucking become a millionaire and retire their family and stuff like that. But, uh, it doesn't seem the same here to me. Yeah, and Will works a lot. He does, but he works for the government.
He's not stupid. I can't just walk up to the man and say, "Hey, remember the night you murdered that clerk?" But I'm trying to help you. But to do that, you gotta help us.
No, not a Fed. He's not like that, bro. He's a photographer. He's a journalist for the Colombian government. So he's a sports journalist. I was about to say he's not a Fed. Don't say 13 in Spanish in Colombia. Why can't I say 13? You always say that, but
Was he hiding in the bathroom?
I swear I've said it before.
Weak ass bitch.
Cops tried worse than the son from another case.
Of course he has. 'Cause there's nothing left to do, right? Got me at home. Got me into his bed. And then he buries me for something I didn't even do. I saved this punk's life. He does this. For real? I just feel like he didn't know he was a cop. And let him kill
13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Dana said 300K bonus, so everyone. Oh yeah, I saw that, bro. It's about to be crazy, bro. We only got what, 2 days, bro? 2 more sleeps. All I care about is Pereira beating Jamal Hill. That's the only one I want to see, bro. I just don't want Jamal Hill to win, bro. Oh god. Also, why do I know so much more Spanish than I can understand? What's that mean? You mean you can understand more than you can speak? Is that what you're saying? Don't say it when you say 13. The man is gonna reply, aquí las tengo para que me las bese. Oh, okay. I get it. I thought it was like some gang shit or something. I don't care about that. That's like in Puerto Rico. If you ever say la máquina, like if you ever say the word máquina, people are like, la máquina? And you're just like, and they're like, la máquina. La máquina? La que te rompe el culo. Like, that's the funniest shit in the world to them. And I'm just like, grow up. Like, I can speak way more words, but when someone talks to me in Spanish, I turn to Helen Keller. So that happens for a couple of different reasons. For one, there's a difference between like passive memory and active memory, right? If you take a multiple choice test, it's easier than a fill in the blank because you're looking at the word and you're like, oh yeah, I know what that means. But that's different than having to think of the word yourself. The other thing is that nerves. Um, there's a like I would call it like a performance to speaking. It's not a performance, but it kind of is. Like speaking makes you nervous. It might not make you nervous in English anymore, but maybe when you remember when you were a kid and you had to speak to like the cashier or some shit, and you're like, I don't know what to say. Like, mom, what do I say? And so it's kind of like that. You've never spoken in Spanish. And so you're not prepared. Like a lot of speech is predictable. Like right now I'm not saying any words that I've never said before. I've said all of these words 500,000 times. So when you start learning Spanish, you're saying shit that you've never said before. Someone says something that you've never really heard before, and you're like, oh fuck, like, what do I say back to that? I didn't even know you could say that like that. Just it's all just it has to just become routine, bro. It's all just time and exposure, and the more you do it, the smaller things become automatic, and then you move on, and then the next bigger things become automatic, and then you move on. Like I just remember, let me try to think. I don't remember. I don't remember, but I just remember like very simple questions used to trip me up because it wasn't asked in the way that I was used to, like Will asking me or something like that. Like you get taught something like "Cuántos años tienes," right? But then if someone says "Qué edad," then you're like "Edad." Even if you know the word, you're just like, "Oh shit, I wasn't expecting them to say that." So sometimes you hear it and you're like, "Huh?" And then you hear it afterwards, even though you really heard it the first time. So it's tough. It's tough, bro. But just keep doing it. It is how your linguistic performance is versus the actual language that is produced and the wider social context used. That was very academic of you, but I feel you. But yeah, like I said, it's like that. That happened to me the other day. What happened? Meanwhile, Will teaching me neutral. Neutral. Bro, you're gonna sound Colombian. I mean,
That means that you can go to another city and start all over. I can take care of myself. Dude, I'm not going nowhere. Might as well just stop me. Just let me go. That's what you want.
the person said tengo que darte in a cooking show, and I was so confused. What you identify as isolated chunks versus what you perform in context. Giselle, you know what my goal is? My goal, you know what, Giselle? We should help each other. We should help each other. I need to teach you how to talk like common folk in English. And you need to teach me how to speak like an academic in Spanish. Actually, that's why I texted you the other day. I forgot to text you back. Remember when I said you teach Spanish too, right? I never I never finished the text, but I was gonna say that I was taking this. I started taking this like college Spanish course, and I was like, God damn, this shit is crazy. So I need to learn the academic side of Spanish, or more, anyways. It had that pause in it when they really said, "Tengo que darte." That little pause threw me all off. I used playa in an example, and I didn't know that it's pronounced differently in certain countries. Yeah, some people say like a soft Y, other people say it hard. And if you're from Argentina, they say it like a SH, because they're fucking weird. She said that was impressive about language. She's very impressive. My internet is slow. I didn't get what you said. Oh my god. Which part didn't you get? Like you didn't hear anything. Did you hear me say that we need to help each other?
Excuse me. You gotta be kidding me. Now, listen, there is always something you can do about it. Let me tell you something. Next time you need a favor, don't
We'll be
apologize.
on it the most when I say todo bien. Apparently I don't enunciate the D enough. Yeah, what happens is a lot of English speakers, and Will used to get on me about that too, and I used to not understand what he was saying. But now when I hear people that are learning, I understand. Because English speakers say the D like a R. So it sounds like they're saying toro. And Will used to always, when I would say this shit, he'll be like, it's not a bull, it's not a bull, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? But now when I hear like, I watch like people's videos on YouTube, like, oh, 3 months learning Spanish or some shit, I can hear it. They say D's like the English R. Bro, send me a message on Instagram after this, and I'll send you like a video that'll help you pronounce that D better. Bro, same. He always says Toro and puts his fingers up his arm. See, I already knew, bro. I already been through that. It took me a long time, but when it finally clicked, I'm like, oh, I hear it, bro. I've been saying that shit crazy wrong. But that's why I was really happy that Will taught me. Because he's strict, bro. He don't play about that shit. Like, if you're saying something wrong, he doesn't care. He's like, nope, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Ah, damn, I missed what happened at the end of the episode. Giselle, you know how you were saying they solved the case at the end in like 2 minutes? I missed the conclusion while I was talking. Oh, it's not over. I might still figure it out.
Katie's dead. Killed Malik for no reason. He just gonna kill me too, so I did what I had to do.
Bro, he don't let nothing slide. Facts, bro. Facts. Have you gotten any penalties yet? Has he made you sing songs? That's how I learned like all these Spanish songs. Cause every time I messed up, if I got 3 strikes in the class, I had to sing a song. I had to pick a song and sing it the next class. But then he wouldn't like the songs I pick. He said, "Oh, that's too easy." And he'll pick like these hard ass Colombian songs. I'm like, bro, I don't even know these words. How am I gonna learn the lyrics, bro? And I'll be like, I only got 2 days until the next class. El demonio rojo y el demonio rojo. How do you pronounce R and double R? That's very complicated. The thing is, I could tell you right now, but it would be no different than you listening to Spanish and hearing both of them. The thing is, you have to practice it, and you need like someone to correct you. Basically, you need someone to say, "Yes, that was good," unless you have a really good ear, which I think most people don't. But yeah, just like children, like there's basically in every language there's certain sounds that are hard for people to make when they first start, little kids included. Like for the th sound, most little kids can't say 3. They say free, they say tree, they say all kinds of shit, and they have to keep hearing their parents say 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Eventually they can say it, but you hear a lot of little kids say free. Sounds with R's. Like a lot of kids can't say like first. They kind of say like foist. They like just can't really make that sharp R sound. So, like I said, you need to. It's like a mind muscle connection. Your brain and your tongue gotta sync up, but it takes time, and it takes, like I said, someone telling you like, yes, that was it right there. Good job. There's something rugged. I'm guessing that's supposed to say behind your teeth. Yes, 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 yes. If you lift up the tip of your tongue a little higher than the English R. See, the thing is, you so I know what that means, but if you don't know what that means, then that won't help you. You get what I'm saying? Because I remember when I used to watch these videos like of linguists saying stuff like that, I'll be like, bro, what are they talking about? That shit would make no sense to me. But now that I know about linguistics, it makes sense. Perro, dog. Perro, but it sounds the same. No, it doesn't. Yeah, Colin, you just need a teacher, bro. You just need somebody to guide you a little bit. But if you can make like the, then you can roll your R's. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, most Americans have rolled their R before. They just didn't do it on purpose. But if you can go like, vroom, vroom, vroom. What? I'm just saying it doesn't sound the same. But I understand because at one point in time, I didn't really get the difference either. Especially because like, besides that word, there's other words that the difference is just the R, and it's a completely different word. Like ahora is not the same thing as ahorra. Like ahorrar is like to save. 3 months, give me a break, people. We're not making fun of you. Just telling you. It'll come with time. But you just gotta know that the double R and the single R are not the same. If you start telling yourself like, "Oh, this is the same thing," like you'll be one of those people that I was talking about earlier that doesn't try to change their accent, doesn't try to pronounce stuff correctly, and then they get mad at the entire world because they're not understood. I'm like, well, if you don't say this stuff correctly, it's hard to be understood. Yeah, but don't worry, Colin. Nobody's being mean spirited. It's all love up in here. If I thought somebody was really being rude, I'll block them. Don't worry. But yeah, language is tough. Language is tough. I think one thing that helps is the more the more friends that you make that speak the other language, right? You will see their problems in English actually can help you understand Spanish better. Like Will and all my friends that speak English as a second language, the mistakes that they make let me know like this is what their brain is thinking in Spanish. So like this is what's normal to them in Spanish, or things that they can't say. Uh, like I'm trying to think of like some sounds. Like it's really hard for them to make like the TH sound, SH sound, just because uh, they're just not really sounds. Yeah, take a decision, stuff like that. Make a question. When they make those mistakes in English, can they say, "Can I make you a question?" That helps my brain go, "Okay, hacer la pregunta." I need to say it like that in Spanish, whatever. That's a good tip. I'm gonna use that. Yeah, bro, it helps for real. You know what I used to do a lot? I don't really do it anymore, but I used to watch Spanish speakers. Like if you just go on YouTube and type in like I don't know, like aprender inglés or something like that. I would watch English classes because that's what the same conversation we're having right now. They have those conversations in Spanish. They're like, in English, they say this instead of like this, like how we say it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I just learned a new phrase just from watching them learn English. Because most of the class is in Spanish and they talk about some things in English and they say, don't say this like we say it. And then that helps me learn the way that they say it, you know. But there's lots of stuff like that. Like a lot of times they'll say like, how many years do you have? Like obviously we don't say that in English, but it lets you know how they would say it in Spanish. I think the worst thing for Spanish speakers that learn English is that our sentence structure is more like it's a lot more rigid than theirs is. Like in Spanish, you could say things backwards or forwards, but you can't do that in English. I mean, you kind of can, but you have to change a lot. You have to change up a lot of stuff. Do, 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 do. There's a video for kids, but I think it will help y'all with the right consonant vowel combinations. Let's see. I think I'll probably go to 11:45. What y'all think? We're having a pretty good conversation. But yeah, Colin, you could. Oh, well, Giselle just commented. I was about to say, you could always hit up Giselle. Learn Spanish from her. Since things you never clicked up with Will for whatever reason. Maybe that's the universe pushing you to Giselle. There was a Spanish teacher that came into the chat earlier, and he literally asked me for my contact information, and he never he never said anything after that. He literally just asked, "Do I have contact info?" I was like, "Yeah, tell me when you're ready." And he never commented again. But he said he had like a WhatsApp group. Colin, do you speak Chinese? Or Mandarin? I thought you were of that descent, but I didn't think you actually spoke it. Giselle, what's crazy is you ignored me when I said we need to teach each other. That is the crazy part. Yo, y'all remember this song by Jen? Like, y'all gonna learn Chinese? That was a classic. You didn't hear that? Giselle, what I said was, whenever you left that hella academic message in the chat, I said, we could teach each other. I said, I can teach you how to talk like common folk in English, and you can teach me how to speak like an academic in Spanish. I feel like that's a good trade. Because the thing is, the more academic you talk, the less you're understood by the regular people of the world. No, grandfather died when my dad was a baby. Yeah, CG said, what are you talking about? He don't speak Chinese. Deal? Okay, cool. That's why I said, that's why I messaged you the other day, or yesterday, I don't know when that was. And I said, you teach Spanish too, right? Because I was like, I need to learn like more academic Spanish. I would never want to learn Mandarin. There's some languages where I'm just like, nah. My dad is fluent in Arabic, and Arabic is one of those languages too. The good thing, Arabic's like Spanish, is real phonetic. And so like, I can read and write Arabic. And like, I can read the sounds, but I just won't know what the word means. But like it's just like Spanish. Once you know how it's pronounced, there's like no way that you could mess it up. But the complexity of the language is high. I just got my school online programs delivered. What does that mean? I do the same in Italian, guess the sounds. Well, that's what I'm saying. In Arabic, you don't have to guess because it's real phonetic, just like Spanish. You know, in Spanish, if you know, there's only so many vowel sounds. So once you know the sounds of Spanish, you can read Spanish, and ideally, you would be able to pronounce everything. You still might pronounce some stuff wrong, but it's not like English where like you read Arkansas like Arkansas. There's nothing like that where you're like, oh, I don't know if I should use like some Germanic pronunciation or some other pronunciation. It's not like that. What super academic comment did you so leave? I don't know, bro. I'm about to scroll back up. She said, where did it go? She said, it is how your linguistic performance is versus the actual language that is produced and the wider social context use. That was the thing that made me bring it up. The average Joe is gonna read or hear those words and just be like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. It's just the way I usually speak. I know, because you learned in an academic setting, which makes sense. But that's like very typical of academics, even in English. Like, they just, bro, when I listen to academics speak about any subject, I'm like, bro, do you want people to understand you? Or are you like grandstanding and trying not to be understood so that you can sound smarter? Because like scientists and all kinds of people, they deliver information, and I'm just like, nobody's gonna understand what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Like, my dad used to tell me, if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, then either you don't know it well enough or you suck at speaking. So that's what I always do. Unless I'm speaking to someone that literally knows the jargon, I won't do that. Like if I'm talking about strength and conditioning, right? Or like if I'm talking to my athletes, I'm not gonna tell my athletes, hey, we need to improve your rate of force development and blah. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say, yo, we need to work on getting your reactions up, bro. Because if you can jump off of the ground faster, you'll be able to make this play better. That's all I need to say. I don't need to explain the science to them. That's why I went to school for it. They didn't go for it. I don't want to give them a science lecture. Be overcomplicating the most basic concepts. Yeah, mostly the audience has already done the path to get there. That's what you think sometimes. If it's an academic lecture, yes. But like let's say I don't know if y'all know who Andrew Huberman is, but people like Andrew Huberman because like he explains all this neuroscience shit and like hacks that you can use, but they understand it. They're like, oh, okay, he's not talking about like the actual synapses. He's not going on a science lecture. He's saying like, yo, your synapses do this. So if you do this, you'll be able to sleep better. You'll be more, your libido will be up, blah, 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 whatever. He's giving them the information in a way that they can understand it. If he wanted to give a neuroscience lecture, he could, but that's not the point of what he's doing. So what I'm saying is, if you're giving a linguistic lecture, then yes, you should use that language. If you're talking to someone that's trying to learn a language and you want them to understand the concepts, then no, it's not a good idea to use that language because they're not linguistic majors. They don't know anything about linguistics. It's their first language that they're learning. If you read the subsequent comment, I tried to break it down. No, it's not. It's not your fault. It's your second language, and like I said, you learned it in an academic setting. I expect it to be like that. But that's what I'm saying. Uh, there's native speakers that do that, and they do it on purpose. To me, I feel like they do it on purpose. Be nice to people equals a grand nice ones so perceptions. Fun interacting with you. Yeah, I just that reminds me. I just watched this TikTok today, and this girl was like, "So I was talking to this dude, and he told me he travels for work, and he was like, she was like, tell me why this guy does DoorDash," and I'm like, "Yo, that's how you spruce it up right there. Travel for work, DoorDash, it's accurate. He just made it sound nicer than it was." Everyone is slamming Huberman lately. Yeah, because he's a dickhead. Calling him a womanizer, manipulator, and whatnot. Bro, see, now, let me step back for a second. I'm not going to say, I was about to say anyone that couldn't tell that is not smart, but that's not true. I have been trained in body language. I know a lot about psychology. Whenever somebody's an extreme anything, bro, they're an extreme everything for the most part. Right? So this dude, bro, his whole life revolves around hacks to get the best sleep, to get the best this, to get the best this. The dude's a control freak. The only people that would do stuff like that are control freaks. He's like, I gotta have my sleep like this. I gotta have this like this. I gotta have this like this. So these women came forward and they're like, oh yeah, he has 8 girlfriends and he has 8 different cell phones and he makes them do this. He's super controlling. I'm like, I could have told you he was controlling. He's literally trying to control every single aspect of his life. That's not a normal thing to do. It's cool for us to watch his videos and be like, I'm gonna take that hack. I'm gonna drink my coffee at this time with a little bit of salt and I'll get a better effect from it. I just made that up, by the way. That's not real. But he's doing 100 of those things. That's weird. Today I found more over in another book. Colin says, Giselle, your written English is better than English speakers. I would like to hear how you speak it. Yeah, no, her English is top notch, for sure. For sure. Folks need to leave that man alone. He's not trafficking anyone, just living an alternate lifestyle. I mean, I guess it just depends on how you look at cheating and manipulation. Oh, you don't know the accusations. Yeah. Basically, it just came out that he has a lot of girlfriends and he's a liar and a controller, manipulator. But yeah, Rolando, what's funny about the cell phone thing is he did a podcast years ago, and the dude he was talking to is just like, yeah, man, people don't realize like people are not having like long-term affairs. He was like, usually if you have an affair, it's short, because he was like, to have a long-term affair, like he's like, you gotta hide stuff in your cell phone, you gotta do this and this, and then Andrew Huberman was like, well, I mean, like, unless like the guy had like lots of cell phones or something weird like that. And the dude was just like, I mean, yeah, but who would have a bunch of cell phones? And Huberman was just like, right. And I was just like, yeah, that shit is so funny to look back on. Like, people really tell on themselves, but it just sounded so outrageous. Of course, like, you don't think somebody has 4, 5, 6 cell phones to communicate with each different woman. Like I said, looking at the kind of lifestyle that he lives, it's really not surprising. Who are you talking about? Andrew Huberman. What's your opinion on the manipulation argument, though? We're all grown. Also, if he cheats on them, couldn't they leave? Not one of those dudes. I wouldn't cheat. I'm just in letting adults choose what they want to do in life within the bounds of the law. Um, so this is like the who's really bad, the homewrecker or the person that let them in argument. To me, I think just because something isn't illegal, for one, doesn't mean it's not bad. I think the part, like, it's hard to talk about this because, like you said, you don't know everything. But if you read like the full breakdown, like I think a lot of the stuff that they were saying was like he's not letting these women like leave. He's not like letting them leave the house and not letting them live the lives that they want to live. And like you said, they're adults, but that manipulation stuff, when it starts bordering like abuse, like controlling and shit, it's kind of hard to just be like, well, she should have just stopped, because a lot of times it's a little more complicated than that. But is he forcefully making them stay? Not that I know of. And that's what I was just about to say. You still could say, well, they could leave. That's true. I don't know. I've had a lot of domestic violence training too, and when you get into the psychology of that shit, it's tough because basically what they do is they kind of sink you in deeper and deeper and deeper, and you don't see it coming, if that makes sense. So like at first it's something small that you wouldn't leave for, or like, oh, he just wants to look through my phone, or he wants to do this, he wants to do this. But whatever, skipping all of that, what I would say is we're allowed to have our opinions about whatever. We're not taking anything away from him. We're not sending him to jail. So if I say that he's a dickhead, that's just my opinion. I'm not attacking him. I'm not calling for him to lose his job. You know, he's not going to jail. I think it's a dangerous argument, though. I don't believe that women are stupid or not autonomous, because I know that so many are intelligent. I wouldn't go for any of that at all. That's true. I don't think it's all intelligence, though. It's just like any other. If you come from, let's say, a bad home, there's things that you would accept that other people might not accept. Even if you are intelligent, just because of trauma that you went through, you can fall back into stuff that happened to you as a kid, if that makes sense. Like, you could just use any PTSD, for example. You can be smart enough to know that you're not in Iraq, but because you went through that trauma, if you hear a loud noise, your brain tells you you're in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? And I see you just said you shouldn't use the word intelligent, so that does change the argument. But like the way Steven Crowder tried to manipulate his wife, way too controlling. I don't know that situation. I don't even know if I know who Steven Crowder is. Steven Crowder sounds familiar. Preying on the weak is a problem for sure, but I feel like that's the only way you can manipulate, to be honest, bro. All predators, and I'm not calling him a predator. He could just be a shitty dude. I'm not calling him a predator. But I am saying that all predators go after the weak, whether it's animals or humans. Like you can't prey on you can't prey on the top of the food chain. It doesn't work like that. You can even read studies. People that get attacked on the street is because of like upwards of 90% of it is dependent upon your posture and the things that you're doing. Like no dude wants to attack the buffest dude on the street, bro. No, they go for little girls. They go for girls that walk with their shoulders like this, that are looking down. Because if someone's confident with their chest up, for one, you thinking this motherfucker might fight me. That's already enough to make you pick somebody else. You want to go with the person that might not scream, that might not fight back, that might not hurt you. I'll send you a bit of him. Oh, I do know who you're talking about. I saw that video on Twitter. Yeah, that dude's weird as fuck, bro. But yeah, it's definitely a complex argument. and maybe not something that we could really resolve right here on a YouTube live, because that's, yes, it's complicated stuff. I think the same thing. Like I said, even with my mom's job is to help like domestic violence victims, and so I don't know if y'all ever saw, like I did 2 podcasts with her on my YouTube channel talking about how people fall into domestic violence, how hard it is to get out, um, and even knowing all of that stuff, sometimes I'm still just like, bruh, as soon as he smacks you, dip. But it's not that easy because they're scared of the consequences of leaving. They're like, yo, if he'll smack me, imagine what he's gonna do if I try to dip out of here and I might tell on him and ruin his life. He might kill me. And a lot of times that's true. Jalen, he's one of the conservative talking heads. Yeah. I realized who he was after y'all started describing it. Puts tables at colleges. Yeah, he's the one that made the table and it's like a meme that says blah blah blah, prove me wrong. Dude was arguing in that video like yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I didn't recognize the name at first, it just sounded familiar, but I got it now. I got it. I seen the video that Rolando was talking about. Yeah, they're just a lot of weird people, man, to be honest. I'm not super judgmental, but sometimes I'm just like, I just can't rock with this, man. I just don't like putting my morality on other people, again, within the law. If someone tells me they cheat on their wife, I think it's disgusting, but I don't think that person should be hung. See, I only halfway agree with that. Like, I just think some people should be ostracized, bro. If somebody tells me they cheat on their wife, I'm saying something about it. And the thing is, I don't necessarily care that you're doing it. I care that you're telling me, bro. Like what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, if you tell me you don't take care of your kid, you're a deadbeat dad, I'm gonna be like, oh, you're a piece of shit. I'm not gonna just be like, yeah, I feel you, bro. Like, no. Go take care of your fucking kid, bro. I feel like we don't do enough to deadbeat dads. Like, we need to smack them motherfuckers up more. Like, we need to force them to pay child support. Not even child support. Like, you need to go see your kid or you need to go to jail, bro. Like, but I'm joking about the go to jail part, kinda. But yeah, that's how I feel. Some stuff, I'm just gonna be like, I don't fuck with it. You don't gotta go to jail for it, but I don't gotta be like, you know what? We all live different lives. We do. And some stuff I just think's weird, and I'm gonna tell you it's weird. Ostracized, sure. I'm talking legal and punitive consequences. Mob mentality against Homo sapiens is dangerous territory. But yeah, but that's what I said about Andrew Huberman. He didn't lose his job or nothing. No one's. I mean, someone might be calling for it, but it's not like a real push for him to lose his podcast or something like that. People were just, whoever posted the article kind of just posted it, and people were like, yeah, that dude's kind of nuts, but he's not even married. He's not breaking any laws. People are just like, what a dickhead, which is fine to me. Like I said, he's not getting in trouble. If he loses some sponsorships or something, that's on him. But some strong men turn into weak men due to a toxic controlling partner. I watched a video today. I think they were like YouTubers. Man, this girl was driving and the husband tried to talk and she kind of like smacked the side of his head and she was like, stop talking. And he was just like, don't hit me. And like he tried to talk again and she was like right in his nose. And he was like, oh. He was like, man, you could have broke my fucking nose. And she was like, shut the fuck up, stop talking. And I was just like, yo, like that is crazy, bro. And then he finally got fed up and he grabbed her hair and she was like, ah, he's killing me, he's killing me. Sometimes it's better if some men are not in their child's life. Better for the child, yes, but the guy still needs to, he needs to be ostracized. We need to talk shit about them. The girl told me she cheated on her fiance and that maybe she wanted to cut things off, but was afraid her guy might literally kill her if he found out she cheated. and that he calls her his property. She ain't scared enough if she cheating, bro. No disrespect. If you really think he'll kill you for leaving you cheating on him, bro, he gonna kill you and the dude, bro. Don't rope me into that shit. See, that's the bro. So you gotta be careful, bro. You gotta do your research. It's worse than not having one, but sometimes there's a net benefit if the dude is too toxic. I agree. I think a lot of I think a lot of dudes don't need to be in their kids' lives just because they're just bad people. But we shouldn't um, treat those dudes like they're like us. They're not like us. They're not good people. Mimic HF. If a woman ever hits me, she's going to jail and will never hear from me again. I don't care. I don't care how long we've been dating. Wouldn't put a hand on her, but no contact from that point on. Yeah, people are crazy, bro. People are crazy. Yeah, I know lots of people that have been in all these situations we're talking about. Giselle, you would think there has to be a lot going on, but sometimes that's not the case. And it's weird too because sometimes people go so long without hitting someone and they just do it one day. But the thing is, when it starts, it usually doesn't stop. There's a long distance relationship. They lived in different cities. Did I miss something? Oh, you're talking about the cheating. I don't care, bro. The fact that she told you, she's not scared enough. She needs to do something else. Facts, I have too much emotional control. I never put my hands on someone unprovoked physically. So if someone does that to me, I'm out of there. Yeah, that shit is crazy to me, bro. I couldn't imagine someone doing that to me. And yeah, I would definitely be gone. 1 second later, bro. It wouldn't even be nothing to think about. As soon as there's contact, I'll call the cops on the way out the door. Not right now. I'm leaving. But like I said, everyone has something different going on. You never know the stuff people been through, the fears that they have. Man, did y'all watch that Quiet on the Set or Quiet on Set documentary? Axa made me watch that shit. That shit was disgusting and sad, bro. Poor Drake. I think people know who to play with. Like Giselle said, someone isn't gonna just hit you out of the blue. They test you at first. Yeah, but like I said, yeah, it's probably not gonna happen to you because they wouldn't pick you out as prey. That's the Nickelodeon thing, yeah, bro. Crazy sad how many kids got violated, how nothing happened. Bro, that shit was disgusting, bro. You should watch it, but it was disgusting. I didn't know. But he's a good example. He was young, Drake Bell was young, and he was getting like real deal violated, like the real way. Not saying that people that were touched or something, not the real way, but I'm just saying penetration, anal penetration. He was getting violated by a Nickelodeon exec, like all that time, bro. And he was just scared to talk about it, bro. He was like, oh, well, I'm gonna lose my career, and then people are gonna call me this because I'm the one that was the victim, and blah, blah, blah. I told her she should cut things off, not to let that man live a lie. She married him anyway? Oh. I grew up my daughter since she was 5 with her grandmother. I didn't know how to be a father. Now I learned a lot. I hate to say it, but I do judge people on appearance, particularly those that have that pedo creep look. Yeah, bro, here's the thing. Let me read the rest. Those Nick dudes all had that look. That's literally what I said when the documentary came on. I'm like, why they let this motherfucker around children anyways, bro? There's a pattern that I can't ignore. Here's the thing, bro. Humans are great pattern detectors, bro. And not only are we good at detecting patterns, like we fall into those patterns too. Like jocks typically look like jocks. Like nerds typically look like nerds. Pedophiles typically look like pedophiles. People know this shit, bro. They ignore their gut feelings because I like some fucking feeling of righteousness. Like, oh, I can't judge this guy. Yes, you can. You can not discriminate. You can not treat him differently until you know. But you can, you can say, like for instance, in that documentary, Drake's dad knew for a fact. He literally said, "I don't trust this dude. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he keeps trying to hang around my kid." And the dude put a wedge between Drake and his dad so that Drake would move to his mom. And so when Drake's dad was forced with that, he literally said, he told Drake's mom, he said, "Yo, I don't care that Drake's moving with you." He said, "All I ask you is not to ever let Brian Peck be with him alone." And she didn't listen to that motherfucker. And he raped her son over and over and over again. Which is probably why she didn't appear in the documentary, because she's a horrible parent. But the dad knew. He literally knew. And, you know, he cried so much on the show because he knew what was going to happen. And the worst thing was when he saw the news about the exec getting locked up and Drake called him to tell him that it was him. And his dad said, "I'm so glad they caught him, and I'm so glad that he didn't get to you. I knew it. Remember, I told you he was a weirdo." And he didn't know that it had happened to Drake. What dude got did by a Nickelodeon exec? Drake Bell from Drake and Josh. That's what he was violated, bro. Like multiple times. Like when they show the documents, bro, it's so disgusting. Like the list, like oral copulation, sodomy, penetration with a foreign object. Like the list is so long. Like, bro, it's so bad that like Drake just literally couldn't say what the dude did. He was just like he was like, "I don't know how I can describe this on TV." It's documented by a great African American poet by the name of Future. It's the evil world we live in. Yeah. Didn't Drake repeat the pattern and fled to Mexico? Alright, so I went kind of hard on Drake because I didn't know exactly what happened. I'm going to tell you what I read and what he said. You can make your own judgment. He was having an online relationship with someone that he didn't know the age of. He never met this person in person. And from what they said, from the investigation, from when they looked at the chats and stuff, he actually never did get an age of this person. And so he actually didn't get any pictures from the person. He just sent pictures when he was drunk one day. But anyways, the person was obviously a minor. They were like 16 or 17 or something like that. But according to him and the investigation, he didn't know, but that's still a crime. It doesn't matter that you didn't know. You sent pictures to a minor. And so that's why his sentence was so light. His sentence was like 200 hours of community service or something. So, like I said, you can make your own judgment on that. I was under the impression that he knew how old she was and he was being a weirdo. But like I said, according to the investigation, according to him, they didn't have any evidence that he knew how old she was. And I was like, that's possible. That's definitely possible online. And that's why his sentence was light too, because he never met the person in person. Like he didn't know anything about her, where she lived or anything. Literally just fucking got drunk and sent the naked pic. So yeah. I thought he was caught in the act of doing something with kids. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought at first too. Like I said, because I was like, how's he even on his documentary, bro? Like, how's this possible? Why is he not in jail or something? And yeah, he was actually talking about that in a documentary too, about how the media just took it and ran with it, and how he wanted to off himself and stuff, but he didn't. So I was like, well, I don't know, man. Colin says, I work with children that were molested. They're altered. Oh yeah, for sure. You can never be the same person after trauma like that. You can never be the person that you were gonna be. You got a different life path after that. There's just some stuff that you can't be like quote unquote normal after. You can only like cope with it and try to live a like the most peaceful life that you can. But how could you be normal after something like that, bro? Damn, it's 12:11. Y'all don't got work tomorrow or something? So I'm glad my mom's and pop said no sleepovers, no exceptions. Facts, bro. I used to be mad at my parents, but now, so happy, bro. I know so many people that got violated, bro, and they tell me the story, and it's literally always like a sleepover or something like that, bro. And I always just think, like, how many fucking weirdos are out there, bro? That is crazy. Mike, salute. Giselle's falling asleep too. That means it's time to go. I said I was getting off at 11:45 anyway, so. Colin, Rolando, salute. Who else was up in here? I can't remember. I think Micah's gone already. The life of Meek. If you're still up in here, salute. We'll see y'all the next time. Sunday. Oh, I can't remember how to hit end. The screen changed.